Welcome, cricket fans of America. This is your game, the 2025 Minor League Cricket Championships. And this morning we bring you the first of 2 matches today and 6 matches this weekend from Davis, California's Arroyo Park. Joe Hickey here with you. It'll be a double dip between the Seattle Thunderbolts and the San Diego Surf Riders, a pair of teams that both lost yesterday in their Western Division openers, but did so despite promising starts. And so, number 1, reason for hope. Number 2, don't trust anything that happens early today. The Seattle Thunderbolts, who have no changes in their 11 compared to what they ran out there yesterday against the LA Lashings, have won the toss. They've elected to bowl first on this pitch here at Arroyo Park, and it will be, as it was yesterday, Shadley van Schalkwyk facing off with the San Diego openers. First delivery, and that is again targeting the stumps just like it was yesterday against your opening batter. And that is Abane Reddy Vanapalli over at standing at the Sahadeo Pavilion end of this ground. Shadley van Schalkwyk bowling from the Usman Khan end. And that is where the non-striker, as we start, Skanda Rohit Sharma, the captain of this squad, is presently standing. Second delivery down the leg side, and unlike yesterday, Shadley does not take a wicket and with his second ball and ends up conceding a run in his first over. For those that weren't with us, where have you been on social media? Get yourself on Instagram and follow, well, just about anybody tangentially associated with this division or league for that matter, and you'll see Shadley yesterday opened the bowling with a triple wicket maiden. That'll be first runs off the bat here as Abane Reddy hits that to the man at mid-wicket. That's Rahul Nama patrolling over there. Deep protection here with just 2 allowed outside the circle during the power play. Consists of a man at deep third and a man at deep square leg. For the San Diego Surf Riders, just 1 change to their lineup, which we'll take a look at perhaps between overs number 1 and 2. Just 1 change from yesterday. Supranj Kumar is out. Javed Zadran is in. First ball to be faced by the captain of San Diego. Bat comes down and defends. Another ball targeting the stumps out of the hands of Shadley. Van Schalkwyk with those 3 wickets in the first over with no runs. From that point forward, 22 conceded off his 4. Did not take another wicket. Was touched up just a little bit in his last over in the power play. Conceded 3 boundaries in the span of 4 balls to Kirsten Kalicharan, who high scored with 34 yesterday on a very difficult wicket to hit on. We're going to be excited to see what this one has in store, as that is shot straight back past Shadley van Schalkwyk, running its way across the carpet, but it will hold up just shy of the boundary, chased down by Rahul Nama. And that will be a pair of runs. Shadley coming off of a MLC campaign with LA Knight Riders, in which he was the leading domestic wicket taker. Nice adjustment to a ball with just a little bit more hop in it. Shadley pulling back his length slightly. No run there, though, as it runs back behind point. As we wait for a live scorecard, 3 for no loss. 5th ball of the over. That one lifted where there is no one, and that may well be the day's first boundary. We'll see if it's got enough petrol to make it to the berm, and indeed it does. A lovely 4 there off the bat. Just taking full advantage of knowing where the deep fielders are located, and as they say in baseball, hitting it where they ain't. And my mistake, that was in fact the final delivery of the over. Lost count there with the wide and all that, so at the end of 1, 7 for no loss. Just as was the case yesterday, bowling from the other end of the ground, the Sahadeo Pavilion end, is going to be Matt Hennig. Hennig, a late addition to the team, at least in terms of the rosters that were widely available to those following the league. Plays his cricket, or his developmental cricket, back in Australia with St Kilda. Featured in the top-end T20 tournament last year with the Melbourne Renegades Academy. Put on quite a show. His first delivery crawls right up to shoulder height on Skanda Rohit Sharma. A little bit of chin music there. One of the ones at shoulder height or above for the over, but no wide given. That one has taken the pad, but at least from our angle, looked like it was headed down leg. Hennig, the 27-year-old, 1 for 11 yesterday. Took a wicket bowled late in his spell. In the power play, he was just insanely economical, just a pair of runs conceded off of his first 2 overs of work. Skanda Rohit Sharma in 2 minds on that one. Tried to give himself a little bit of room. Hennig followed him, cramped him for space. No room to throw the cut. Lucky not to have feathered it back into the gloves of Lahiru Milanta behind the wicket. He's got a slip in place. It is the Seattle captain, Ian Dev Chauhan. Deep protection against Hennig. Or I should say for Skanda against Hennig. Is camped again at third and at deep square leg. Ball run behind point. Quickly to it is Shashwat Kohli. 3 dots on the trot. More of the same. Skanda so far just 1 off 6. AB waiting at the non-striker's end for his chance, the 4 on the final ball against Van Skalkwijk in the first. Ball targeting off stump, picked up, a quick sharp chance and a quick run taken. AB off like a shot from the other end. And that will bring Reddy on strike. He had 10 off 14 yesterday in the Surf Riders' loss to the East Bay Blazers. Wound up bowled by Sanjay Krishnamurthy, the lefty spinner. Last season, 192 runs for him at a 151 strike rate, 27 average. He was 15th in all of minor league cricket with 12 sixes hit, as well as being 10th in 50s. One of the handful to have more than one that season. It's off to a rather slow start to last year, but finished with a 60 off 32, a 12, a 46 off 30, and a 52 off 35. As San Diego Surf Riders narrowly missed out on a playoff spot last year. Again, targeting leg stump this time is Hennig, and the bat down to protect. Just as it was yesterday, just the 1 off Matt Hennig. Here in over number 2, San Diego Surf Riders 8 for no loss. It'll continue to be Shadley van Skalkwijk going from the Usman Khan end. We'll take a moment between overs to examine the teams put out here by the 2 captains. We said for San Diego Surfriders, the one change there in the 11 spot. Javed Zadran in for Supranj Kumar. Shehan Fernando, who's likely to be in at 3, put on a heck of a show yesterday. As we are back to live action here, Shadley steaming in from the Usman Khan end, another one that crawls up on Skanda. And a dot to start. For the Seattle Thunderbolts, we told you at the start, no changes to the squad that fell by 11 runs yesterday in what turned out to be the second lowest score ever successfully defended in minor league cricket and the lowest one here out west. That one is lifted. There is a fielder in that vicinity. A long run for Sujit Nayak, and what a snag! And right away, a wicket taken. Shadley van Schalkwyk back up to his old tricks, but this time around needing a bit more in the way of assistance from his fielders. Nayak had to make a lot of ground on that one as the inside-out shot targeted in an area that didn't have a fielder per se. But coming all the way over from a rather narrow long off, Nayak with the diving snag at the end, but always looked in control, always looked as though he was going to make his ground. And it's a short day for the captain, who yesterday had a run-a-ball 28 before being caught off the bowling of Harikrishnan Nair. Today he goes for just 2 off the 9 he faced, and it's 8 for 1 for Shadley van Schalkwyk. 4th wicket already on the young season. May well presently put him into a multiple-way tie for second place behind Abhishek Paradkar, although there were a host of 4-wicket hauls throughout minor league cricket yesterday. Just off the top of my head, Zahid Zakhel for LA, Nash Kenjige for the Metroplex Tracers. Quite something. But with Skanda out here in over number 3, it's now time for yesterday's star. That is Shehan Fernando. Fernando, 32-year-old from Colombo, Sri Lanka, I meant to say. Former under-19 international. Generally done opening for the most part with Lankan Cricket Club from 2013 to 22, where he's racked up nearly 2,500 first-class runs. In his debut yesterday, 79 off 45. Tempting ball there as Fernando gets the bat down and does not pick up the splice. The Seattle Thunderbolts fielders on the offside all clamoring for it. They saw from their angle a ball that looked like it was a lot closer to the bat than it did from where we're sitting. But a dot to start. That one's in the air. Could be another chance. Very difficult play, and it's going to land just past the reach of Cincy Siegerts. Over at point. Point inside the circle as Seattle have stuck with the conventional square leg and third deep against this string of right-handed batters to begin the lineup for the San Diego Surfriders. Fernando off the mark with 2 runs to his name now. That one on a 4th stump line, a little on the full side, but only able to guide it to Siegerts at point. Fernando, a 25.5 average in T20s, officially sanctioned ones. Or correction, 15.3 the average, 25.5 in List A, I meant to say. 140 strike rate career in T20 matches. Able to fend that one off. A little over that mark yesterday. That'll be the final ball of the over as Fernando faces 4 deliveries and picks up 2 runs off of them after the wicket of the captain, Skandar Rohit Sharma, in the shed. San Diego Surfriders 10 for 1 through 3. Abhinay Reddy Vanepalli on strike to start over number 4 against Matt Hennig. Gave up just 1 off of his first frame. Again, targeting the stumps, forcing Reddy into defense mode. Certainly something we saw quite a bit of yesterday in Santa Clara. Be interested to see where the truth lies in terms of the behavior of this pitch. Talked a little bit to some ground staff, and they thought this was maybe a 170, 180 par ground. I talked to some of the Thunderbolts, and they thought it felt maybe a touch on the soft side, and that 130 or 140 might be a good score on it. We will see where things pan out. Thus far, San Diego struggling to pick the pace up just yet. Pair of dots to start here against Matt Hennig. Reddy explosive but vulnerable against right-arm pacers last season. 59 runs off 29 balls faced against them. But he was out roughly once every 10 deliveries. This about to be the 8th he's faced against the double-barrel righty pace attack. Hennig digs that one in a little short. Reddy throws the pull just a little late and can't quite get it around the fielder at mid-wicket. Sujit Nayak needing a moment after getting to that ball. Unclear exactly what may have happened. Looks like he might be favoring his left leg. The 12th man for this squad is Sanat Misra. We'll see if Sujit is going to need some relief in the form of a sub-fielder in a moment. Keeps his place for the time being at mid-on. That one down the leg side gets through the gloves of Lahiru Milanta. That's going to be at least 2 wides. We'll see if they try to come back for a third, as Abhi Sudarshanam does chase it down before it reaches the rope. So 3 wides, and like the desert needs the rain there, 3 quick runs without a ball officially being bowled, and now it'll be Lahiru Milanta, who's making sure that he's in decent shape here after getting down on that left hip. Reviewing the action yesterday here in the West, we mentioned both of these teams had promising starts. Surfriders had the East Bay Blazers, the defending division champions and league finalists, at 50 for 4 through 7 overs in Morgan Hill. Had the East Bay top 3 all gone for single figures, but it was that partnership between the Centurion Saideep Ganesh and Abhishek Paradkar, who somehow, with one of his teammates getting 111, was arguably the man of the match in that one. Fended off to the offside, wide of Nayak, and that will allow them to try to pick up 2. The throw is down to the non-striker's end. Fernando in safely. Direct hit might have made some things interesting. But I mentioned that Paradkar might well have been your man of the match despite the 111 from Saideep, because Abhishek, along with having his high score and departing just 3 runs shy of a first career half-century in MILC, also took 5-fer, and in doing so became just the 4th MILC bowler with more than 1 5-fer in his career. Another one down the leg side. That sounded like it might have flicked pad, and that is the signal from our umpire. Sunil Singh and Pankaj Chowdhury out there in the maroon shirts. So that'll just go down as a dot. But even chasing the 200 target that was eventually set by that 103-run partnership, they got to 100 for 1 in the 12th over with Shehan Fernando going at quite a clip. But it was a smash-mouth situation for San Diego after that, by which I mean the hits start coming and they don't stop coming. Swing and a miss there. I'll tell you a little more about that as we continue, but for now, end of the 4th over, 5 off of Hennig's second over of work, 15 for 1 for the San Diego Surf Riders through 4, and we'll take a look at the Seattle Thunderbolts lineup card, as we mentioned, unchanged compared to what we saw in yesterday's match down in Santa Clara. Certainly from a bowling perspective, you would hardly want to mess with what worked so well. But from a batting perspective, they will have been sitting thinking about what could have been all last night, no doubt. They got 19 out of Ian Dev Chauhan, and that was the high score. 11 extras ranked 3rd among their batters. And so they'll be looking for a little something. But the bowling performance, phenomenal for them. And we're going to see our first bowling change, it would appear, in today's match. As Cincy Siegerts, who many thanks to Rishabh Mohan for correcting my pronunciation on Cincy. I've been saying it almost as if it was half Italian for a long time. But he will be moving from the Usman Khan end. We talked a lot about the pyrotechnics yesterday from Shadley van Skalkvik. Very economical. Cincy 1 for 10 yesterday. Looking for another wicket as that one is popped up, but it looks as though it will split the fielders. Doesn't have enough pace or English to get over the boundary, though. The youngster Ritish Mohindru able to chase that one down. And that'll limit Shehan Fernando to just 2 off the first delivery he faces. Cincy last year, the second leading wicket taker on the team, with 11 at 17 runs per. Swing and a miss as that one stays a little low. The Sri Lankan started bowling in a lot more high leverage situations last season. In 2023, 71% of his overs were bowled in the middle. Last season, just 16% of them. A lot of power play, a lot of death over bowling. Generally, the wickets came at the death. 12 of his 17 over the last 2 seasons. More economical against righties than lefties, so he'll be happy with what's in front of him here, although he's going to give away a free run on a leg side wide. We can see Seattle, certainly with the field they've set and the deep man over at square leg, have been targeting the stumps and even targeting leg stump in particular. It's cost them on a handful of occasions. We have seen Matt Hennig go for a few wides, Shadley van Skalkvik as well. That one lifted to the offside this time around. Single for Fernando. We mentioned before the bright start for San Diego. They were at 100 for 1. Admittedly, still we're going to need about 2 runs a ball from that point to the finish, but had the platform set. But when they did start losing wickets, they ended up losing their last 9 in the span of 43 balls for 42 runs. And among those 9, 5 of them courtesy of Abhishek Paradkar. That is lifted where no one is camped and is going to find its way onto the boundary berm on 2 hops. For Abhinay Reddy, his second 4 of the encounter, the only 2 that have been hit so far for the Surf Riders. That's certainly a risk for Cincy Siegerts. In fact, almost exactly his average there as we see the powerful pull of AB. Last season, 24% of the balls he bowled in the power play found their way to the boundary. 1 out of 4 here, only slightly above that pace, only because that's the only fraction you can do that's anywhere near 24%. Swing and a miss there. And of course, one last ball here to re-bowl the wide from earlier, as San Diego looked to up the run rate just a touch. Off-pace Yorker worked to the onside. A lot of space there in front of square leg. And a single to finish. 9 runs coming off of the first Cincy Siegert's over. San Diego Surfriders 24 for 1 through 5. First introduction of spin into the Seattle Thunderbolts attack, and it'll be Rahul Nama bowling the last over of the power play, that from the Sahadeo Pavilion end of this Arroyo Park ground. If you're just joining us, welcome to Davis, California. Technically home of the San Ramon Grizzlies still. We'll see them for 3 of the 4 games tomorrow and Monday. But today it's a doubleheader between the Seattle Thunderbolts and the San Diego Surfriders. My name's Joe Hickey. Thrilled to be spending Labor Day weekend with you here on the MLC Network. First delivery from Nama worked off the pads by Abene. And a single to start the over. We've got Vishal Tiku at the controls and Stanley on the camera work. Along with, for that matter, Vishal, because he is a man of many talents. As somebody who's a one-man show for college broadcasts, I respect the hustle. Inside-out swing, that's going to take the top edge and run back towards third. Shashwat Kohli, a good chase. It'll just be a pair of runs, no boundary off of that one, but 3 off the first 2 bowled by Rahul Nama. Nama yesterday, 14 runs conceded in 4 overs, which oddly enough looks kind of pedestrian compared to his teammates who conceded 10 and 11, Cincy and Matt Hennig. Still a good showing, did not strike. Looking for it there, don't know what that hit. There's a brief half-hearted appeal. Came up into Lahiru Milanta's gloves. Not too much in the way of histrionics, moving right along. Using his feet and driving that towards the man at long off is Shehan Fernando. Ends up being just a single. Fernando resulting in a little bit of a different look to the defense. Your deep men now at long off and at mid-wicket. And they stay there for Abene Reddy. Lot of motion off the surface. Abene thinks maybe even a ball above head height. Signals for perhaps a height wide. Be an unusual thing for a lefty spinner. A little fuller on the last delivery of the power play. Pops up on Reddy and evades the bat. So a pair of dots to finish off. Just 4 runs off that final over of the power play. San Diego through 6, 28 for the loss of 1. Cincy Siegert stays on at the Usman Khan end for the first over without the fielding restrictions. Deep men comparatively all over the place now. It'll be Shehan Fernando to face the first delivery from Siegerts here, as protection is all out in front. That's going to mean a lot of space for that one to run, as it's guided just past the outstretched hand of Melantha, or rather not guided, but instead bowled over there. It'll be 5 wides to start the over. Those leg side wides, a bit of an issue for Seattle in the early portion of this first innings. We've seen 3 wides from Matt Hennig, 1 from Shadley van Skalkvik, and now 6 from Cincy Siegerts. Still targeting the body, bunted over to the right side, a quick single taken as the throw is late and off target, trying to challenge at Lahiru Milantha's end. Yesterday's game for Seattle could hardly have started better. A triple wicket maiden from Shadley van Skalkvik before we had a chance to even sit down. They would hold the lashings to 86 for 6 in the first innings, but wound up unable to chase it down. Oh my word, that is hammered! And may well be creek bound from Abhinay Reddy Vanapalli. For those that don't know, a slight water hazard out there past the practice nets. And I'm pretty sure that is the first robin of spring, as it were, here at Arroyo Park, our first aquatic cricket ball. Maybe, perhaps not. It is thrown back in. It does not seem to be trailing water droplets. But certainly not for lack of trying. A vicious pull shot for the first maximum of the day. To borrow a phrase from baseball, a no-doubter. Cincy looking for the comeback and perhaps the boom and goodbye. No such luck on that front, but a dot ball nonetheless. San Diego up to a run a ball for the first time in this first innings. This one guided to third, who's inside the circle. It's a direct hit, but not in time. Square leg umpire not signaling anything exciting, just coming back to repair a little bit of furniture. Nice quick single taken, and thus far, the Surf Riders have looked to target Cincy Siegerts. Siegerts had a lovely regular season last year. Economy of 6.05, but he traveled in the Super 8s at nearly 2 runs a ball. Yesterday, a lovely showing. This looking a little more like last season in microcosm, as game number 2, giving him some headaches. A dot ball to come back, though. Another one that picks up a bit of motion off the surface into the gloves of Milantha, but without a touch from Shehan Fernando, and that'll end the over with a pair of wickets. But damage done. 5 wides and a monster 6 off the bat of A.B. Reddy. 41 for 1 through 7. Rahul Nama to continue from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. So far we've seen 2 of Hennig and now 2 of Nama from there, 2 of Shadley and 2 of Cincy from the Usman Khan end. Today a game that I certainly had circled on the calendar because these 2 in their all-time series have played some absolutely smashing games of cricket. A single off the first ball here from Abene, who continues to go at a run-a-ball 21. The all-time series, led by the Seattle Thunderbolts 5-3, but 4 of the last 5 meetings have been unbelievably tense. Another one popping up off the surface. Dot delivery. Back in 2022 in Morgan Hill, it took all the way till the final ball for Seattle to finish off a chase, and even then only off of a Surfrider misfield. Fernando inside outs that one. It'll fall in front of point. And a single. Nice looking cut. That win turned out to be huge for the Seattle Thunderbolts, as they only made it to the playoffs in 22 on net run rate after tying East Bay for second in the standings, and rode that all the way to a championship. 2 years ago, it was basically San Diego's fault that Seattle didn't make the playoffs. That one in the air. It will fall in front of third. But Ian Devchauhan up in the circle. A pair of games at Canyonside in 2023 when San Diego were winless to that point saw the Thunderbolts lose by 7 runs, actually by 6 runs, when they were bowled out just 7 from the target, and then fell by a single run again in a chase, as that one off the hip of Abene. Nama continues to bowl tight, just 6 off of 11 balls so far. They lost by a single run to them in 2023 in a game where a 4 would have won it for Seattle. And then last year at Woodley, the Surfriders needed 10 off 5 to take their first lead in the all-time series, as that one is golfed into the gap, but chased down by the deep mid-wicket fielder. But again, another victory that in that case got Seattle to the playoffs and likely deprived San Diego of their first ever berth. We'll tell you a little more about this series and what things are like often here in Davis, for that matter, when we come back. 8 overs done and dusted. San Diego 44 for 1. Lefty spin from both sides now, as Sujit Nayak will enter the attack from the Usman Khan end. First spin we've seen from this side. We were telling you about this series, though, and last season, as a reminder, Seattle Thunderbolts 6-2. Ended up finishing second in the division and made it to the Super 8's second playoff qualification in their team's history. San Diego Surfriders, one of the big surprises, though, in the West Division and in minor league in general. They went 4-4, and if not for being unable to finish off that chase where they needed 10 off 5 against Seattle, they would have finished level with the Thunderbolts at 5-3. They managed just 3 runs of the 10 they needed in those last 5 balls, and yet another final over nail-biter between these two sides. And not an uncommon thing to see that sort of thing happen at Davis, which neither of these teams have ever played here. But history at Davis suggests that almost any game that takes place here could go down to the final ball. We saw it with Silicon Valley and the then Golden State Grizzlies back in 2021. The very first game ever held here was one of those low defended totals. Trying to get a sense of exactly what's going on here as they get ready for this next over. Perhaps a question of which batter is supposed to be on strike. Whatever the argument is, it's urgent. It's animated. Sounded like maybe a question of whether the bowler that was coming on was identified. As they continue to try to make sense of this, so a bit of independent confirmation here from Vishal Tiku. It was some manner of informing the umpires, perhaps of Sujit Nayak coming on to bowl. I don't know if he actually left the field at some point. We saw him pull up with a bit of an injury, but continued animated discussions there in the center. We'll see how this all resolves. We did see earlier Sujit Nayak pulling up with a bit of discomfort after diving to field a ball. I don't recall whether he left the field. I think that was, in fact, before he took... No, that was after he took the diving catch. At any rate, this continues. In the meanwhile, we've been telling you a bit about the action that was taking place in the West Division. The one game we haven't discussed, since neither team is here, was the Silicon Valley Strikers beating the Grizzlies for the 11th time in 11 meetings. Might be the biggest weird bugaboo team that anyone in minor league cricket has. Not that the Strikers aren't great, but as a reminder, the then Golden State Grizzlies did not lose to anybody but Silicon Valley in Season 1. All 3 of their losses came to Silicon Valley, who they went 0-3 against, and they've met 8 times since and have never won, and at least for the 3rd time I can recall, lost on the final ball, this time with Saurabh Netravalkar singling with the scores level. A team effort, scores all in the low 30s for Gary Graham, Shehan Jayasuriya, and Raymond Reefer to counteract Aaron Johnson's 89 in his San Ramon Grizzlies debut. Apparently all resolved. First delivery from Sujit Nayak is stroked to mid-wicket. It'll be a single to start for Abhinay Reddy. We'll try and ask at the innings break, or perhaps ask one of the boundary fielders at an over break what the heck that was all just about. Oh, okay. So one thing that we didn't pick up on until it just showed up on the scorecard here, as that single, by the by, brought up the 50, is I believe in the course of deciding to put Nayak in, the argument was about a 5 penalty run hit that was just taken, likely because that information may have come a little bit on the late side. So between that and the Abhinay Reddy single that started the over, the 50 up. And speaking of up, yow! That one again searching for the creek, and again it's Abhinay Reddy Vandepalli absolutely cranking one to mid-wicket, 2nd over in a row. He's done that on the 3rd delivery he's faced. Goodness gracious, Abhinay Reddy. We told you at the outset last season, 15th in sixes hit in all of minor league cricket with 12 last year. He's got 2, only 2 so far of this encounter. And he's brought San Diego up to 57 as we again see the penalty runs going on the scorecard. Now lifting one where there is no deep fielder, searching for that gap between long on and sweeper cover, and he has found it. Back-to-back boundaries, a 6, and now an artful 4 for Abhinay. A lot of width on offer there, and Reddy does well to rise to that ball. It did have a fair bit of hop on it after pitching on this Arroyo Park surface. This one guided straight to the fielder at point, and AB will turn back. So a wild, active over here. Two teams frustrated yesterday and in search of that first win. And this one's headed right in our direction and straight over my head. That one would appear to have found its way into the yard behind us of a house facing Imperial Avenue. And another 6 on the over, so Sujit Nayak's first. Not an enjoyable experience for Seattle Thunderbolts fans. Abane Reddy, though, well, he certainly enjoyed himself. 18 off the over. San Diego Surfriders well and truly working their way to cruise control. 67 for 1 through 9. It'll be Rishabh Mohan, right arm off spinner, taking the ball now from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. It's going to be his first over bowled, it would appear, of this 2025 season, although we're going to have a pause in the proceedings here. Looks like a hydration break, perhaps, for Shehan Fernando, who may well be struggling a little bit. And in fact, they're going to take it as a strategic timeout here instead of at the 10th over. They'll take it here in between overs 9 and 10. And best to ensure that folks are in good shape. We're already up to 86 degrees here in Davis, California, and the expectation is for a high of 100 this afternoon. It's not going to get any better the next 2 days, 98 and 99. It finally drops into the low 90s on Tuesday, but will be gone by then. No further cricket. So it's 67 for 1. We'll go ahead and take a quick tour around the results elsewhere in minor league cricket yesterday. Over in the Central Division, it was nearly a Texas sweep as the Metroplex Tracers, Lone Star Athletics, and Kings 11 Dallas were all victorious. Only the Dallas Exphoria Giants fell, that to the Chicago Tigers. That was an 8-run win for the Chicago Tigers. Mitansh Nityanandam with his second career half-century, 51 off 40, supported ably by a 44 not out from Justin Dill off just 27 balls. Dallas Exphoria Giants seemed to have the sort of start they were going to need. Smit Patel wound up with 89 off 52 from the opening position. But to hear it told, at least on the USA Cricket Fans Discord, the commentator for that game utterly frustrated by the handling of both Smit Patel's approaching century and as well just simply the target that was being chased. And Dallas winds up 8 runs short. Vineet Sinha and Kartik Gattapalli taking 3 wickets apiece, the latter for just 17 runs. The other matches not nearly so close. Kings 11 got home against the defending champion Chicago Kingsmen in an all-royal battle with 2 overs to spare. 3 wickets apiece taken by Corey Anderson and Amshi De Silva. Ramiz Raja's 44 was not enough for the defending champs. A 64-run opening stand between Reman Dar and Unmuk Chand got half the work done as Dar went for 43 and Chand for 32. Elsewhere in those Texas versus Midwest battles, Lone Star bowled out St. Louis in order to defend 121 for 9 and win by 29 runs. Aaron Nadkarni, one of many fourfers on the day. He took 4 for 9. And Kashyap Prajapati added 3 for 16. No St. Louis American able to break 21 runs in the chase. High scorers on the other side, Sushant Modani, 30 off 21, and Chaitanya Bishnoi, 27 off 26, providing roughly half the runs to set the target there. Lastly, Metroplex Tracers, in their first game under a new name, coasted to an 8-wicket victory over the Michigan Cricket Stars. Got that done with 8 overs to spare. Nash Kenjige, 4 for 14. As we said, Zakhail not the only lefty spinner with those sorts of figures yesterday. That kept the target chaseable, and Aryan Tumala with 42 and Shubham Ranjane with 33. They put on an unbeaten 74-run stand after losing the second wicket to take Metroplex home in their opener under the new identity. And it would now appear we're having a discussion with the third umpire coming out and perhaps still discussing that 5-run penalty. I do hope they've turned off the innings timer at this point, because been talking more than bowling for the last 15 minutes or thereabouts. We'll continue on with our review, though, until somebody feels like actually bowling a cricket ball. South Division, which got underway with the Baltimore Royals winning by 14 runs over the Orlando Galaxy on Thursday. That under the watchful eyes of Nate Hayes and Aman Patel. The Galaxy fall to 0-2 yesterday as they lose to the Atlanta Lightning by 6 wickets with 20 balls remaining. Highlight for the Galaxy, though, Taganarayan Chandrapal becoming the 21st member of the 1,000 Runs Club in MILC, with his 47 off 39 to pace Orlando's 157 off 6. Atlanta, though, never let Galaxy make inroads in the chase. We're finally ready for action here. Rishabh Mohan's first ball of 2025 is guided wide of the man at deep point, Cincy Siegerts, but he'll be able to chase that down. A single to start here against the righty offie. Getting to the pitch of that one is Vanapali looking for another 6. That will be caught, though, just shy of the boundary. Indeed, the cones are what mark the boundary, not the hill. We've got a little bit of a old Minute Maid Park / Enron Field situation here in Arroyo Park, and good work by the fielder to follow that one up the incline and claim the catch. 2 balls into his 2025, and Rishabh Mohan has struck to break the partnership. You see there, Vanapali has absolutely been more than capable of launching the ball all over, but this time around, rather than a pull, it's an off drive. We see there the cone that marks the boundary, parked under it. The ball squeezed by Rahul Nama at long off. As we said, that ends the partnership, a 59-run stand between Abhinay and Shehan Fernando. And we will now see Snell Patel into the encounter. 7 overs it took to put up that total. Admittedly, 5 of those runs coming by way of, poor administration as it worked out. For Rishabh Mohan, congratulations, his first MILC wicket. Big moment for the under-21 player for this Seattle Thunderbolts side. He concedes a single on the first delivery to Snell Patel. Now an inside-out swing. That will fall in front of sweeper cover as Fernando adds a single to the kitty. My mistake, a 60-run partnership. The scorecard hadn't updated with run number 68 at the time the wicket was taken. That one shot through a gap behind square leg. But deep protection out there, another single. Snell Patel already with a run to his name, or 2 runs to his name. That's more than he got yesterday as Fernando hits this one out to the man that squeezed the wicket earlier. Another single, and it's 5 off the over. But the partnership broken on 60 runs, the wicket taken of Abene Reddy. He departs for 39 off 30. The San Diego Surf Riders at the halfway point of this first inning, 72 for 2. Sujit Nayak to continue from the Usman Khan end, and this time no controversy about it. A little bit of purchase for the lefty spinner who dusts his hand on the ground following the release of that one to Shehan Fernando. Another single. As San Diego continue to look to rack up a score, current projection of 144. Starting to mention Snell Patel yesterday, 1 off 1, but was run out. Was one of many MILC debutants yesterday in the West to have a very brief day. So that one pops up on him. 31-year-old wicketkeeper opener, at least in his first-class play from Rajkot. At least a small surprise to see the two of them in the 3 and 4 positions as this season started, given what they generally do in first class. That one stung. A knockdown by Ian Dev Chauhan. Captain alert in the covers. 1,928 first-class runs to Snell Patel's name. Playing for Saurashtra between 2015 and 24. It's in the 11 for the victory that Saurashtra had in 2022 in the Ranji Trophy. Was a runner-up as well in 16 and 19. That one takes the outer edge. Claimed at third, but a single again. 3 runs off the first 5. Last ball of this 11th over. About to be bowled to Snell Patel. Manages to guide that one wide of Ian Chauhan. Long run for long off. Shashwat Kohli. He'll get that one into Sujit, but it's a pair of runs to finish off the over. 5 from Sujit's second. The 11 runs gone. San Diego going at exactly 7 runs and over. 77 for 2. Rishabh Mohan continues from the Sahadeo Pavilion end here in over number 12. Snell Patel will face, or rather Shehan Fernando will face the first delivery here. 16 off 21, going a bit slower than he did in yesterday's match where he was striking at about 170. Looks to up it, but he's going to pick out the man in the covers, and Rishabh Mohan has got 2. Liked getting that first MILC wicket last over so much that he does it again. That will be the end of the day for Shehan Fernando. He departs with 16 from 22. Young off spinner starting to find his way. Gives a little bit of width. Some footwork from Shehan Fernando, but not quite able to get to the pitch or keep himself from hitting it off the end of the bat. And that one cool as you like, certainly had some pace on it. But a relatively easy snag there in the covers for Shadley van Skalkvik under the stylish pink sun hat. Rishabh Mohan now 2 for 5. And a third wicket down, that's going to bring out Abhiyender Singh. Take another look there at it in real time. Yeah, when you see it in slow motion, it looks like a pretty straightforward play. Heaven knows Shadley had some time to get himself ready for it, but that thing was moving at a rate of knots. For those that enjoy looking for their Nelsons, that was 11.1 on the scorecard there, so your one arm, your one leg, your one something. Dot delivery on the follow-up first ball to Abhiyender Singh, the 37-year-old. That one tapped into the onside and Singh underway. Abhi Singh, what a 2024 for him with bat in hand. Had 44 total runs scored and a high of 17 in his first 2 seasons of MILC. Didn't play in 2023. So that one's bunted by Snell Patel. 44 total runs scored in 2 seasons and 3 full years of MILC. He averaged 43 last season. 173 runs off 101 balls faced. Hit almost 1 out of every 4 balls to the boundary. That one's going to pick up some pad or glove on the way through. Would have been a leg side wide potentially if Snell hadn't made contact. Off spin was really the only thing that kept A.B. Singh quiet, so he'll be happy to be at the other end right now. Snell Patel, meanwhile, happy to pick this one out and guide it between the men in the deep on the onside. And after a sterling over for Rishabh Mohan, it does come to an end with a little bit of muss. Beautiful 4 there off the bat of Snell Patel. His first boundary. We see here just a little on the full side, and Patel able to get into position for the slog sweep as quickly as possible, and that one beats Abhi Sudarshanam to the boundary. 5 off the over, but also the wicket of Shehan Fernando. 82 for 3, San Diego through 12. Sujit Nayak continues from the Usman Khan end, his 3rd over on the trot. That one picks up a little purchase and just dances past the edge for Abhi Singh. And another one that does basically the same thing. 2 solid balls here from Sujit Nayak. His figures at the moment largely mussed up by a lot of distraction, you would argue, in that first over he worked. Gave up 18 off of it, a pair of 6s and a 4 to the now departed A.B. Reddivanapalli. My goodness, he is just hitting that spot over and over and over again. Went a little bit fuller, maybe hoping for less deflection so he can actually pick up the edge. Sujit a metronome right now, 3 dots. And again. In case you're wondering, Vishal Tiku not like just hammering the replay button right now. Sujit Nayak has literally done the same thing 4 straight deliveries. That one finally does get the bat. Yesterday in Santa Clara, we saw maybe an MILC record for maidens. 4 overs, 2 by each team, in which no runs were scored. In every single one of them, it was a wicket maiden. Does he have that in him? He'll get the maiden, no wicket, as Abhijender Singh's bat may have missed 5 of those deliveries by a combined 3 inches. But he does survive it. It's a maiden for Sujit Nayak. That'll fix up those figures quite stylishly as we take a look. And without doubt, quite a bit of purchase off that service. A lot of movement. Good luck getting any contact there. Spin ruling the day here in the middle overs. 13 overs done, 82 for 3. Rahul Nama back into the attack. He'll be bowling his 3rd over from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. As he loosens up, Snell Patel on strike. Protection largely in front of Snell Patel. 3 on the onside, mid-wicket, backward square and long on. Also a long off and a sweeper cover. This one worked to point inside the circle. A single to start here for Snell. Say that 5 times fast. This one's over the top of the man in the circle and will land well short of sweeper cover in the deep. Single for Abhijender Singh. Abhi Singh 2 off 4 yesterday, but that 2024 campaign with the 194 strike rate at the death and the 171 overall, ranking 8th in MILC. You want to talk about reinventing yourself. I personally was wondering if it was the same person. That one's airborne from Patel. That is going to be well short of the boundary and squeezing it at long off. Can't keep him out of the game. I believe that is Rishabh Mohan again. Nama caught his wicket. He catches Rahul's. And that is the end for Snell Patel on 10 from 11. Wickets falling at regular intervals here in the late going, which is an unsettling replay if you're San Diego of yesterday's game. Just got that one a little bit toe-ended, and you see the body language right away from Snell Patel. He knows the only way I'm staying here at the crease is if somebody drops a sitter. I've done a little bit of boundary catching practice with Rishabh Mohan. He's not dropping that. Not a chance. So with that, 84 for 4. And after that 60-run partnership, 3 wickets have now fallen for a combined 16 runs. And it's happened right quick in the span of about 25 deliveries. So we'll see who strides out now to accompany Abhijender Singh. Still left in the shed, Sunny Mataru, Sukhwant Sekon, Kairav Sharma, Sabrish Prasad, AJ Sharma, and Javed Zadran. Well, it's definitely not Sukhwant Sekon because he's really tall. So my guess is we're looking at Sunny Mataru. Jatinder is his government name, but Sunny to his friends. And indeed confirmation there on the card since he refuses to turn his back to our camera or broadcast station. But Sunny Mataru in now at 6. First delivery to him is going to be a wide. Continues to be a little bit of an issue here for the Seattle Thunderbolts. They've bowled 10 of them now. Correction, that was the 11th. Quick single run here by Sunny Mataru, and he is underway. his first run in minor league cricket as he came in and was caught behind off the bowling of Sanjay Krishnamurthy on the second ball he faced without scoring yesterday. Today, 1 off 1. Slip in place here with Abhi Singh at the crease. That one another very similar to the Sujit Nayak deliveries. Popping up, just missing the outside edge, and pounding into the gloves of Lahiru Milanta. Sujit Nayak the slip. And again, Abhi Singh has got to be tired of seeing this. Literally 7 of the last 8 balls he's faced have just spun from a lefty just off his outside edge. He's been lucky not to feather one into Milanta's gloves. He survives, just 2 off 11 for him. San Diego Surfriders, 86 for the loss of 4. Sujit Nayak is going to bowl his entire spell on the trot from the Usman Khan end. His 4th over about to happen after a maiden 3rd over of work. As we told you, after the controversy and the penalty runs over his insertion into the game, an over in which he conceded 18, he's now given up just 5 off his last 12 deliveries, make it 13. Lefty spin, certainly the name of the game yesterday as well to keep things under wraps, at least for the LA Lashings. Nayak himself, one of the few bowlers to travel yesterday. He did take 1 wicket as the string of 7 consecutive dots is interrupted by Sunny Mataru. Yesterday, 1 for 23 in his 3 overs of work. Got a dismissal via caught behind. And another one that Abhi just cannot square up. The feet are kind of everywhere at the moment. That one a little less wide, though. That delivery was just over the top of off stump. Managed to cramp him even as he tried to make some room. And another swing and a miss, and this time not even a fend at it. A full-blooded attempt to hoik that one into the vacant mid-wicket area. Only deep protection over there. If Abhi really wants to get somewhere with this, if he can get himself maybe moved outside, he could easily pick up a 2 in there. There's nobody in the circle on the onside. It is just deep protection at backwards square, mid-wicket, and long on. He's going to come forward, though, and shoot that just past the outstretched hand of Sujit Nayak. Up to it is Van Skalkvik. Abhi Singh finally on the, I believe, 9th bite at the apple, manages to pick up a run against Nayak, and he will not have to face him again because the final ball of his spell coming up right now. He launched, absolutely hammered over mid-wicket. And after managing to pull things back, he had given up just 7 runs off of 2.5 after that expensive first over. He does travel on the last ball he bowls to Sunny Mataru. Reach out and touch someone. My goodness gracious. No footwork necessary, just gets down to the pitch. A little bit on the full side from Sujit. He hadn't missed many in his last 3 overs. He completes his spell, none for 31. San Diego Surfriders, 94 for 4. Very quick changeover. Rahul Nama continues from that end. And again, feet going one way, bat going the other from Abhi Singh. Unable to make contact. Just 3 off 14 for him as we begin the death overs. Nama looking really good right now, and Abhi Singh in a world of hurt. We saw a good bit of this sort of frustration yesterday in Santa Clara. Saw it from Achilles Brown from LA Lashings, who needed 9 deliveries to finally score. Abhinav Sudarshanam. As that one again dances past the outside edge. This will be Rahul Nama's last, and Abhi Singh, who struck at 194 off the death last season, will be delighted not to face any more southpaw spin wizards, assuming he can survive this over. Pokes that one to point. Quickly up with it is Shadow. Single taken. And Sunny Mataru, who's got his first 8 runs to his name now in MILC. 6 of those coming on a majestic 6 off Sujit Nayak's last ball. We'll see if he can send Rahul Nama off in the same way. Nama has been much more economical the whole way. Almost a photocopy, just headed the other direction and bound for the creek. Sunny Mataru hits the first boundary off of Rahul Nama in his spell. And just like that, bumps his economy up by 50% and brings up the 100 for the San Diego Surf Riders here in the 16th over. Very nearly the exact same shot. That was something else. Well, the ball's been retrieved. Looking for it again, this time straighter, and this time into the trees. A good 15 to 20 feet over the top of long off. We said Sunny might be trying to send off Rahul Nama the same way he did Sujit Nayak. Well, he goes twice as nice. Consecutive 6s, and Sunny absolutely on point right now. Couldn't quite sweep that one as far to the onside, but got enough done there, and we see disappearing into the trees over the top of Arroyo Park. 100 up in the over. San Diego Surf Riders now 107 for 4. 24 balls left to build the total. And it'll be Shadley van Schalkwyk back into the attack. 2 lefty spinners have now been bowled out by the Seattle Thunderbolts. They do still have 2 overs remaining, potentially of Shadley, Matt Hennig, Cincy Seagerts, or Rishabh Mohan. That one pops up on Abhi Singh, unable to quite make contact, and a dot to start. If yesterday's any indication, they're likely to go double-barreled righty pace from here to the finish. Although last season, Abhi Singh feasted on right-handed pace, 186 his strike rate. As we said, 194 at the death. If he can get broken free here at some point and free his mind, could be a lot of fun. Right now, he is fending at a lot and just struggling to make contact. 4 off 20. At the other end, Mataru 20 off 6. Left in the shed, Sekon, Kairav Sharma, Sabrish Prasad, AJ Sharma, and Javed Zadran for them. Oh, that looks like what he did in 2024. On to the berm at Cow Corner. That's a little more what we grew to expect last season out of Abhi Singh. And the advice coming here to keep it wide of Abhi Singh. Sujit Nayak advising Shadley van Schalkwyk. A lot of protection in the circle on the offside. Hasn't been able to hit much. Finally had one drift onto leg, and it got cranked. Well, the advice is followed. That one is going to be a long run for sweeper cover. He gets to it. Singh and Mataru get back for a second. Just 4 runs off the first 20 balls he faced, now 8 off the last 2. Adjustments being made to the field all around. That one drifts in on the stumps, and it's an under edge that could have gone anywhere. Long run up the hill as Rahul Nama will keep it inside the boundary. Another 2. Make it now 10 off the last 3 for Abhi Singh. The feeling, as I mentioned, of some of the Seattle Thunderbolts was that a 120, 130 would be a pretty decent score on this pitch. They have just about gotten the 120 done. That one is guided to Sujit Nayak at long off. And a single to finish the over. So after 2 dots, 11 runs come off the next 4 balls. And San Diego 118 for the loss of 4 with 3 overs to go. It will be Matt Hennig to take over at the Sahadeo Pavilion end. 3 more overs for the San Diego Surf Riders to try to add to this total. In Hennig's first 2 overs, just 3 runs off the bat. 3 runs courtesy of a wide that got away from Lahiru Milantha down the leg side. Those wides definitely a concern today. We had the penalty runs, 5 of those, the other 11 extras so far on the San Diego Surf Riders scorecard, all coming by way of wides. Admittedly, not a lot of them in terms of instances. As we mentioned, Hennigs went for 3 wides. We saw 5 wides out of the hand of Cincy Siegerts earlier. Just 3 others, but not helpful when you're trying to deal with a team going at a run a ball. Abhi Singh liftoff. Goodness gracious. A pull shot sent into orbit behind square leg. Welcome back to the attack, Matt Hennig. Woo! Hold the pose, Abhi Singh. Be the biggest upset if he manages to make his way to a run a ball, given how this inning started for Abhi. As we said, righty pace, what he feasted against last season. That and leg spin, but there's not a whole lot of that in this division. What does Hennig have? That is in the air and gone! Abhi looking for another bit of liftoff, but you've got to get it up pretty high to clear Rishabh Mohan there at mid-on. And that'll be all. The classic boom boom gone. But Singh looking for the acceleration, and we see Rishabh Mohan at full stretch. But there's a lot of stretch available for him. Rishabh, 2 wickets with ball in hand and 2 that have gone to his hand. One of them a little easier than that one. San Diego now 124 for 5, as that was a rather rapid fire 23-ball, 40-run partnership between Singh and Sunny Mataru. Now, out to partner him is the man with no number, which I believe is Kaidav Sharma, a late addition to this roster. Abhi Singh did make it to 21 off 26 by the time he was done. A pair of absolute monster sixes, one onto the berm at Cow Corner off of Shadley van Skalkvik, and then one over backward square and targeting the school playground. First ball faced today by Kaidav Sharma comes up and gets him off the hip pad. I believe that'll be a leg by. Waiting on the umpire signal, and indeed. Kaidav yesterday 1 off 2 before being bowled by Abhishek Paradkar. He was one of the 5 victims. It's okay, when somebody takes a 5 you're actually as likely as not to have been one of his victims. That the first time his wicket had been taken in minor league cricket. His 2 earlier games came in the Super 8s last year when he was a late add to this Seattle Thunderbolts roster and went on down to Grand Prairie. Brought in by and large for his leg spin. But he had a 1 not out off 2 and a 9 not out off 5 in a pair of matches with Seattle last year. Comes Hennig. Sunny does a good job of holding the bat out there and tapping it to third. Maybe overthrows. Nope, well backed up. Wicket, leg by, tentative single. All after being dispatched over square, or backwards square. Matt Hennig, good comeback here. Lifted in the direction of square leg again. Not as powerful. Abhinav Sudarshanam up with it. Hennig so far, a mirror image, not even a mirror image, just a photocopy would be the better analogy to yesterday's performance. Again, very economical in the power play and now striking at the death. Seems likely he will get over number 20 after Shadley van Skalkvik bowls over number 19. Here's the last ball of 18. On the ground, and Sunny will stay put. A dot to finish. 9 runs off of it, 8 off the bat, 6 of them off of Abhi Singh, who departs the very next ball. Caught by Rishabh Mohan. Henning's got his first of the day, and San Diego 127 for 5 with 12 balls remaining. Shadley van Skalkvik has the last over entrusted to him from the Usman Khan end. Swing and a miss as that one buzzes the outside of off stump. Kaidav Sharma begins this penultimate over on strike. San Diego going at roughly 7s over the course of today's first innings. Sharma lifts this one into the air. Settling under it is Sujit Nayak just inside the boundary. He takes a good, careful look behind him and makes sure he stays put. And that'll be all for Kaidav Sharma. Shadley van Skalkvik has his second of the day, and San Diego have lost their sixth. Shadley was so ready to start bowling again, it looked like, that I was worried I'd missed a no ball. But nothing to it. Sujit Nayak, you see there the textbook work to get himself under it. Ball almost seemed to propel him slightly back, so needed to take a quick peek behind him, make sure the feet didn't wind up where they're not supposed to be. But no problems there. It'll be Sukwon Sekon coming out. And apparently some discussion taking place here among some of the senior players on the club about who might get the last over. Don't know if our field mics picked any of that up. At any rate, Kairav Sharma in the shed. Sukwon Sekon facing his first. Taps that one straight down and onto the stumps. Tough to make out from our broadcast position. Had to take a look at our video feed to ensure that. But it's a golden duck here, and Shadley van Schalkwyk, for the second time in roughly 24 hours, is on a hat trick. Shadley just having a little bit of a laugh about that one. Said that was a weird one. That was not a wicket-taking delivery, but Sekon not able to quite navigate it. Stuck his bat out, pounded it straight into the ground, and it caroms off the stumps and dismisses him. Here's a better look. Yeah, looks like it takes the bottom edge and pings back leg stump. Not quite the finish that I would imagine San Diego had in mind. And if you're Seattle, you almost view the run chase as starting right now. So Shadley's got 3. The last 3 wickets after that 40-run rapid partnership have fallen for 3 off of 7 balls. Here comes the hat trick ball. That one pops up. Height would have been a problem. I think it was navigated by Sabrish Prasad, the number 20. And so for the second time, as we said, in about 24 hours, the earlier one happened at roughly 12:40 p.m. yesterday down in Santa Clara. Shadley denied what would have been the 10th hat trick in MILC history. That one tapped, and they will take the run. So the other thing I was wondering if it might happen would be a little bit of history repeating and another triple wicket maiden. Triple wicket is still in play. The maiden, not so much, as Sabrish Prasad is off the mark with his first run of the day. He had 3 off 8 yesterday before being caught off the bowling of Abhishek Paradkar. When in doubt, just assume it was Abhishek Paradkar. Changes in the field as the left-hander comes on strike here. Sani Mataru, a rapid 21 off 18, or off of 8 rather. Lifts that one in the air just wide of Cincy Siegerts. For just a moment, thought that we were in play for another 3-wicket over from Shadley van Schalkwyk. As it is, boy, does he ever sweeten up his figures with that final over. In fact, it's a photocopy of yesterday, but in very different circumstances. Shadley van Schalkwyk again, 3 for 22 in his 4 overs. You can set your watch by it. 6 balls left. San Diego 129 for 7. And Matt Hennig will take the last over of this first innings from the Sahadeo Pavilion end, steaming in against Sani Mataru. Bashed into the ground, he will retain strike, and I wouldn't be surprised the way he's been seeing the ball to see him try to farm that strike here. 22 off 10. How important might this cameo eventually be? Shift of fielders as Ian Dev Chauhan goes to a short backward square. Deep protection at square leg, mid wicket, long on, long off, and point. Straight back over Henning's head. That's going to be a race to the boundary as the fielders converge. It is claimed, and they will take 2 to keep Mataru on strike. Ball is sounding real good off of Sonny Mataru's bat. Your general expectations from the 32-year-old is that it's going to be his work with the ball in hand that will define his innings, will define his match, but today he has been very useful with the bat. Swing and a miss, a little bit taken off of that one by Matt Hennig, and Mataru can't stay back. San Diego have spent a good chunk of this innings going at about 7 runs and over. They'll need another 9 off 3 to close at that and end up at 140. As we said, Seattle Thunderbolts players I talked to felt that would be a very good score on this wicket and set us up for a phenomenal chase. That one stays down a little bit fuller and a bit wider. No changes to the very standard field here for Jatinder Paul. Sonny Mataru facing the penultimate ball of the encounter. Hennig again able to sneak that by the Canadians' bat. Just one more ball to face, and for as important as all the work Sonny did might end up being, how crucial could it be if Hennig can hold, and for that matter, if Van Skalkvik can hold this team to just 4 runs off the last 2 overs. Final delivery, it's going to be 5, maybe 6 off of the last 2. They are going to turn and try for a second. Throw is down to Melanta's end, and I do not believe is in time. Melanta forced to back up, snag it, and throw it onto the stumps rather than whip off the bails. And so it is 2 runs, so they will claim 6 off the last 2 overs. But nice work by San Diego to up the tempo, and then nice work by Seattle Thunderbolts to rein it right back in. A pair of wickets, and again, just 6 runs off the last 12 balls. They will leave San Diego through their 20 overs at 133 for the loss of 7. Take a look at our batting and bowling cards here to summarize what we saw. Contributions a little bit from all over for the San Diego Surf Riders. As we told you, 39 from Abhinay Reddy Vandapalli, the lone surviving opener after the power play. A nice partnership that developed there between he and the number 2, Shehan Fernando. They added 60 runs for the second wicket. That one of 2 decent-sized partnerships in the innings. The other one, that quick fire between Abhi Singh and Jatinder Paul, Sonny Mataru, adding 40 in the span of about 4 overs worth of time. Mataru finishes off with the second best score on that card at 26. They also add the 21 from Abhi Singh. 17 extras. As we mentioned, wide's definitely an issue today. 11 of those, and also the 5 penalty runs from that controversial insertion of Sujit Nayak into the attack. There's Sujit Nayak. Very similar economy to yesterday. Goes for 31 runs off of his 4 overs of work. He conceded 23 off 3 yesterday. Without striking. He did, however, have that maiden over in the middle. It's just that he got beaten up right at the beginning, 18 off of his first, and then the 6 off the last ball he bowled to Sonny Mataru, who saw off both of the lefty spinners with a little bit of power. Rahul Nama takes 1 wicket and goes at a run a ball. Rishabh Mohan, a nice cameo, 2 overs bowled, gives up 10 and takes his first 2 MILC wickets. And of course, Shadley Van Skalkvik, the 3 for 22 that you can now set your watch to. done that both of his first 2 games. This time around, not the triple wicket maiden, but flirted with a double wicket maiden in his last over of the encounter there in the 19th from the Usman Khan end. So that sets the target at 134 for the Seattle Thunderbolts. Which of these two teams, in what's set up to be a fantastic chase, is going to pick up their first win of 2025? You'll have to stick around here, 15 minutes of break before we start to find out ourselves here on the MLC Network. Come on back.
David, don't let yourself.
Guys, no, stop. No, shadow package, no. Thank you.
Welcome back to Arroyo Park in Davis, California. We are just about ready for action here in the run chase of our first game of a doubleheader between the San Diego Surf Riders and the Seattle Thunderbolts. Surf Riders set the Thunderbolts a target of 134. They finished at 133 for 7, behind 39 off the bat of Abhinay Reddy Vanapalli, one of the two openers, and a delightful cameo of 26 off 15 from Sunny Mataru, his first runs in minor league cricket after going for a duck in his debut yesterday. It does appear we will have Sukhwant Sekon starting the bowling from the Usman Khan end of the ground. And he'll be facing off with our two Seattle Thunderbolts openers, Ian Chauhan, and in a change from yesterday's lineup, Lahiru Milanta, put into the spot we're a little more accustomed to seeing him in out west. Milanta, an opener pretty consistently with the Silicon Valley Strikers in 2023. This his fourth MILC team, as Milanta was with the Morrisville Raptors before that, and the Houston Hurricanes last year. But it's Ian Chauhan, the captain, facing the first ball from Sukhwant Sekon, lofted just over his head for a single, and we are underway in this pursuit of 134. One of these two teams in about an hour and a half time will have their first victory of 2025. Of course, the other one is going to get an opportunity to do so as well in our game presently scheduled for a 2:30 start. Elsewhere in the West, LA Lashings up down in Morgan Hill, 121 for 7 batting first against the Silicon Valley Strikers as they look to go 2-0. It was another rough start for them. 44 not out, though, from Achilles Brown, as he suffered mightily yesterday to try and get himself going. Today, no problems at all, as that one is put into the vacant mid-wicket area. Pair of singles to get started here. Deep fielders against Ian Dev Chauhan at long on and at square leg. Maybe backwards square, looking for the sweep. 3 fielders on the offside in front of Ian Dev Chauhan and a short third, as well as a slip in place just to the side of Snell Patel with a man with the gloves. That one shot through the gap on the offside. Nobody out there. It's going to be a foot race, and it will be won by the leather. First boundary of the encounter, Ian Dev Chauhan, who yesterday went for 19 off 23, 1-4 and 1-6. He had a 6 off of Guyan Fernando in the first over that seemed a signal of intent, and then, well, the boundaries just dried up for Seattle from that point forward. They're going to need a bit more where that came from over the course of today's encounter if they're going to avoid that same fate. Sukwant 1 for 34 in 3 overs yesterday. Did get Sujith Gowda caught behind. That one tapped to the offside. Up with it quickly is Shehan Fernando. This is Sukwant Sekon's third team just here in the Western Division. We mentioned Lahario Milanta's been a little bit all over. He's played in 3 of the 4 divisions. Sekon was a LA Lashing in 2021 and a Golden State Grizzly in 2024. Yorker dug out by Chauhan, but it will not go for a run. A second dot and a good comeback for the 40-year-old lefty pacer after the boundary from Chauhan. Last season with Golden State, 4 wickets in 12 overs at 25.3 per and an economy of 8.42. Another one tapped, and again, Chauhan will turn back. So 2 singles, a boundary, and then 3 dots to finish off. 6 off the first. Seattle Thunderbolts, 6 for no loss. First over from the Sahadeo Pavilion end will be entrusted to the man who just had the fantastic batting cameo, Jatinderpal Sunny Mataru. Mataru, a 32-year-old lefty quick who had his first 2 Canada ODIs in May back in Lauderhill. He's also played 7 T20Is with the Great White North. In those T20Is, 6 wickets at 21 per and an economy just shy of 7.5. Also played with the Toronto Nationals last year in the Canadian Global T20. 5 wickets there at about 23 per and an economy just over 7.5. So you've got a sense of what you'll get for him. Yesterday, not what he would have liked. He was part of the group that started to hemorrhage runs to the likes of Saideep Ganesh as he pulls out of his run-up. But as Ganesh and Paradkar got going, they targeted Sekon, they targeted Kairav Sharma to some extent, and they took 30 in 3 overs off of Sunny. First offering today, a little bit of in-swing, and my apologies, I've got something wrong here in my notes. Right arm quick. Wonder how that wound up wrong. At any rate, a little bit of in-swing as he bowls round the wicket to Lahiru Milanta. Milanta, the 31-year-old from Kalutara, Sri Lanka. First real good shot off the bat of Milanta, and he shoots it through a gap on the offside. And after the single on the first ball he faced, now well and truly up and running. When he was here in 2023, he was something of a bellwether for this team. Scored 340 runs that season at a 117 strike rate, but when he got over 30, the strikers were 4-1. When he didn't, they were 3-5, and all 3 of those wins took until the final over, 2 of them on the final ball. We'll see if he's got the same sort of thing. Yesterday, 4 off of 10 before being bowled by Abhimanyu Rajap. Oh, my goodness gracious, that under edge could have gone anywhere. Needed a moment to find it, but once he did, Milanta stayed put. Certainly yesterday, 4 off 10, and his team lost. Ended last year and started this year in lovely fashion, though, over in the Nepal Premier League, where he played for the champions from Janakpur. Navigates another menacing ball targeting the top of off. When Sunny has avoided giving Lahiru length to work, or rather width to work with, it's been hard for Milanta to free his hands at all. In that NPL end of 24, start of 25, he led that league in scoring, a 32.5 average and a 131 strike rate, and was exemplary in the final. That one guided to cover. No run there either. 87 off 49 on a team that I decided right away was definitely my squad because, well, I enjoy Lahiru's work. Got a front row seat to him in 23 with Silicon Valley. And additionally, they had Jimmy Neesham, who I am on record as having as my favorite New Zealand player, although heaven knows the competition for number 2 is very active. Helps immensely that a ton of my favorite Kiwis, the likes of Glenn Phillips and so forth, have all plied their trade here in Major League Cricket. There was something very special about seeing some of my favorites running along the carpet of the Oakland Coliseum back in June. That one dragged wide of mid-wicket inside the circle. That'll be a single on the final ball of the Mataru over. 5 from it. Lahiru Milanta retains the strike, and he'll be on strike for over number 3 when we come back. 11 for no loss. Sukhwant Sekon stays on at the Usman Khan end. We mentioned before the game going on in Morgan Hill. Lashing's 121 for 7, setting the target at 122, just over a run a ball for Silicon Valley. One of the reasons they needed Achilles Brown to dig them out of a hole with that 44 not out is because Saurabh Netravalkar put up some of his best figures in MILC. 4 for 9 in 4 overs. Took 3 of those wickets in the span of 4 balls to dismiss Zahid Zakhael, Ajayveer Hundal, and Harpreet Singh, all for ducks. In fact, 2 of those guys have now played 2 games. Harpreet was debuting today. All 3 of them still on 0 runs for the 2025 season. First they had to deal with Shadley, then they had to deal with Sarab. I don't envy them. Of course, if you want to check that one out, I encourage you to get Double Barrel YouTube going and join Hari Venkataramani over there from Morgan Hill, California. Of course, here at Arroyo Park in Davis, my name's Joe Hickey, Stanley on the camera work, Vishal Tiku at the controls for Crick Live Productions. We are very happy to have you with us and hope that you, unlike us, are in somewhere climate controlled. 89 degrees and rising here in Davis as Secon bowls one that climbs on Lahiri Milanta. He bangs it off his front leg. Just one game so far completed in today's action, and that one taking place at Church Street Park as the Baltimore Royals and Atlanta Lightning, both having beaten the Orlando Galaxy in the last 2 days, faced off, and Agni Chopra's 32 for Baltimore, enough to support Mohamed Mohsin taking fifer as the Royals rather coast to victory in that one by 53 runs. Bowling out Atlanta for 85 in response to 138 for 8. Here's some tight bowling from Sukwon Sekon. After giving up a 4 on his third delivery to Ian Dev Chauhan, he has now bowled 6 dots on the trot. Milanta, by and large, stuck on strike, and both here in Davis, in Santa Clara, we have seen this in the past from Milanta. Somebody who can certainly get stuck early in an innings. And if he begins to get frustrated, not above throwing that reckless shot. In fact, being dismissed for 4 off 10 yesterday. I haven't seen the game, but it wouldn't have shocked me if that was something of the sort there. Here comes the southpaw. Again defended, 5 straight dots in the over to start, 8 in a row for Sekon overall. It's usually been righty pace that has dismissed him last year, all 4 dismissals. Although it also was all but 20 balls he faced. Pace, a little bit of a bugaboo. He is going to face more of it in all likelihood as he has taken the single on the final ball off Sekon. He has denied him yet another maiden over here at the beginning of this minor league cricket season. But just 1 off the third. Seattle 12 for no loss. Sonny staying on from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. Brief conversation with Vice Captain Abhayender Singh. Skandar Rohit Sharma, the captain of the squad, giving some indications from his position over in the covers. Deep protection for Lahiri Milanta. Is stationed somewhere, I assume, but I'm struggling to find it. Oh, okay, there's one of them. Long on. It's a little tough to spot the guy at long on against a lefty because a lot of times he's actually up on the hill. The other one is at square leg. First delivery takes an under edge and skews its way towards mid-wicket. Up with it quickly, AJ Sharma in the number 5 shirt. Lahiru last year a 157 strike rate in 4 matches with the Houston Hurricanes. That is a beamer. It's going to go, it would appear, for 4 runs as it's just past the outstretched hand, and that's got to be a no ball. Oh, apparently not. I assume that had to have gotten there above hip height. I have not seen the signal yet. Let's take a look at it. Pops up a little unexpectedly here, and I think they've missed a trick if they haven't signaled that as a no ball. Maybe I missed it. Nope, just a 4. That absolutely looked like it got there above hip height. Well, at either rate, 4 for Malantha. That'll be a single there. A nice one-handed snag over at backward point by Javed Zadran. That'll hold that to just a single and brings Ian Dev Chauhan back on strike. Chauhan so far 5 off the 5 he's faced. Milantha has been dominating the strike as of late. That one is lifted to where there is no one besides the Seattle Thunderbolts bench, who will gleefully scoop it up and serve it back in as it goes for 4. Chauhan, kind of an interesting spin-pace split the last couple of seasons. Last year, his strike rate, or 2 years ago rather, his strike rate was almost identical against the two, 127 and 130, but he was dismissed almost twice as regularly against Pacers. 18 balls per dismissal as he scampers back on that one. Got quite a way down the track. Yeah, 18 balls per dismissal against pace as opposed to 31 against spin. Last season, the spin-pace split was all in the strike rate. 180 strike rate against spin, 131 against pace. His average was nearly identical, though. Still struggling against lefties, but Lahiru Milantha has sucked up a lot of the deliveries from Sukhwan Sekon. Last ball here, unable to quite ride the bounce, was Ian Dev Chauhan, and that'll be a dot to finish. 9 runs off of it, 1 boundary per batter against Sonny Mataru. Seattle 21 for no loss through 4. Sekon keeps the ball here for his 3rd over on the trot to start the game from the Usman Khan end. He will handle the entire power play from this end of the ground. As we mentioned, lefty pace here coming up, at least to begin with, against Lahiru Milantha. Bit of a slow start for Ian Dev Chauhan at the other end, 9 off 8. Bit uncharacteristic compared to what he did last season when he had a 191 strike rate on the first 4 balls of an inning, or 5 balls rather of an innings. It's a very rapid starter last year. Quick single taken by Milantha, and now it will be the captain's job to deal with the lefty pacer. Sekon went for 6 off the first 3 balls he bowled. Since then, 10 deliveries and just 2 runs. Singles on the last 2 after 8 consecutive dots. Deep protection against Chauhan now at long on and at square leg. He'll go elsewhere. Fires that one right along point. And too quick for the man in the circle, Kailash Sharma, to get to it. Captain looking to up the pace here as he looks to build an opening partnership to take some of the sting out of this chase of 134. A little width, a little height. And Chauhan does well to get on top of that one. Keep it from becoming airborne and a chance for Kailash Sharma at point. Long on brought inside the circle, and now both deep men are square of the wicket, point and square leg. He'll drop it into the vacant area. That's the result of Kailash Sharma being pushed back to the boundary rope. Takes a single. We'll see how much movement that brings about as Lahiru Milantha comes on strike, the righty-lefty combination. Sort of thing that can keep your fielders scooting around. For the time being, no changes. He'll ladle that one back behind square leg, and it's well wide of fine leg. Long run for Sonny Mataru. We'll see if he got it before it went over the boundary rope. Apparently. Tough to tell with the little heat mirage coming off the ground there, but judged to have been held in. So 2 runs instead of 4. And Sonny Mataru continues to do useful things on this Arroyo Park ground, whether with bat, with ball, or in that case, with the legs. Pace off, and that one's shot through a gap on the offside at point. Single for Lahiru, and that'll bring Ian Dev back on strike. Again, fielders moving about, but the deep men stay where they are. Just 2 in front of square on the onside for Ian Dev. That is headed our direction. Long run, and it will be picked up here as the 2 Abbeys try to avoid a collision. The throw is a direct hit, which we have come to expect from the likes of A.B. Reddy Vanapalli, but no signal from the square leg umpire. I believe they were in. It was Abhiyender Singh from long off and A.B. Vanapalli coming in from long on, who converged, nearly collided with each other. We'll get a look here. Certainly a direct hit. A little tough to tell on the dive where exactly Lahiru Milantha was. But either way, it's going to go down as 2 runs off the final delivery of that over. An eventful one. Sakon had gone for just 7 before that, 11 off the 5th, 32 for no loss for Seattle, and we'll keep the chat right here as Milantha and Chauhan check on each other's condition following that chaotic run-out opportunity. Turn our attention to yesterday's action in the South and in the East over in the Atlantic Conference. We were telling you about the Galaxy falling to 0-2 as Atlanta Lightning picked up their first win before losing today to the Royals. That one largely courtesy of a 70-run opening stand to get started in the chase of 158. That was Nicholas Manohar, who finished with 65 off 44, and Monank Patel, new to the Atlanta Lightning, who went for 45 off 26. Nice little return to American League action after his Bart King Award-winning performance in MLC. Over in the East, NYC Titans, New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, and New Jersey Stallions taking the victories over the Manhattan Yorkers, Philadelphians, and New England Eagles, respectively. The tightest one was the NYC Titans, a 5-run DLS victory after they'd gone 132 for 7 behind a 57 not out by Pinak Ghosh. Rain shortened the Yorkers' chase to just 6 overs and a revised target of 45. They needed 7 off the final over. Sahir Bhatia, though, took 3 wickets, and they had a team double hat trick as a run-out interrupted the string of bold, and LBW. He conceded just 1, and Keshav Raval was yet another 4-fer in yesterday's action, 4 for 20 in his 2 overs. Titans held on for the DLS win. It'll be Javed Zadran bowling his first over of the season, and he is immediately slapped by Lahiru Milanta. And that ball through the covers is going to wind up all the way at the rope. Another 4 off the bat of Lahiru, who is upping the tempo a bit. His 3rd boundary here as that one came up. Had enough width for him to get his hands inside it. Shoots that one into the covers and all the way to the cones. Those wondering here, as we've got 5 balls left in the power play at this point, Surf Riders were 25 for 1, so Seattle about 11 runs over that pace. Nice defensive stroke there by Milanta to survive and fight another day against the youngster Zadran. Javed took 6 wickets at 10.7 runs per and at a strike rate of 11 last season. One of the better returning economies on the team as well at 5.82. His strike rate and average were both ranked 11th in MILC in his debut season. Very stingy against lefties in particular. So a bit of a surprise to see Lahiru Milanta take such a liking to him as he nearly pings that one off the scoreboard. And as a result, they're going to have to put 6 more on there as Seattle move into the 40s. Absolutely gorgeous off drive there by Lahiru Milanta. Let's see what the under 21 has in store for him now. Again, the defensive stroke. This time it holds up a little bit in front of the fielder in the circle. That'll allow him to run a single, 11 off the first 4 deliveries. If you're Lahiru Milanta, you figure job well done in that over. Two balls remaining in the power play. End of Chauhan coming on strike. They are going to bring Point inside the circle and push Long off out to the rope. Seattle, after a slow first few overs against Sekon and Mataru, have now pushed their run rate up past 7.5 and have nearly got the required rate down to a run a ball. Chauhan puts that to the right side. Point is deep enough, or cover rather. That'll allow another single to be run. Similar situation going on between Silicon Valley and Los Angeles Lashings, as the Strikers have a 34-run unbeaten partnership so far between Amok Adepali and Kamran Hotak. Youth shall inherit the earth. Here a bit more experience with Milanta and Chauhan, same basic result. Last ball of the power play, be held in the circle by Sukhwant Sekon, and it's a triad of singles after the 2 boundary shots from Milanta, so 13 off of Zadran's first. And as the fielding restrictions release, Seattle Thunderbolts 45 for no loss through 6. As we continue to tell you about action throughout MILC, the other two games yesterday in the East, Somerset Cavaliers a 22-run win over Philadelphia in a 14-over match. Ali Imran with 66 and Gaj Singh with 56 to get New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers all the way to 138 for 2 before Rains ended their innings prematurely. Vraj Tarak Desai took 3 for 19 in 3 overs to aid the defense. No Philadelphian able to top Shrey Sethi's 33 off 20. Stallions, meanwhile, tons of contributions to beat New England Eagles by 37 runs. 5 double-digit scores, but none over Christian Micah Ronaldo Thurton's 31 off 23. Got the Stallions to 132 for 9, and then maybe the surprise of the entire weekend so far, besides the 86 standing up for a winning total and maybe the triple wicket maiden and maybe Taganran Chandrapal almost having a hat trick. The other surprise would be Sai Mukamala taking 4 for 8 in 4 overs of the chase. Just his second bowling innings in 47 MILC matches, and he takes 4 for. First over outside the power play will be entrusted to Sabrish Prasad from the Usman Khan end. Sabrish, a 17-year-old offie, transferred in from Silicon Valley Strikers where he didn't get a game last year. A little short on that one, gives Milantha time to move the feet and shoot that one back behind point. Very wide, fine leg, very fine backward point, however you want to describe it. It's at the rope, and it's 4. A lot of time to read that one, and you see Milantha in particular, just the speed of his bat, allowing him to wait on that one, calibrate better, and fire it back behind point. Fourth 6 of Milantha's innings as that one, or I should say fourth 4 rather of Milantha's innings as that one climbs. Gets to the gloves of Snell Patel for a dot. Now this one worked off the hips. They'll take one. It's a long run in. For backward square, and so that'll be 2 runs, and it'll bring up both the 50 and the 50 opening partnership here for Seattle Thunderbolts. A far cry from yesterday's struggles in Santa Clara. Having a great deal more luck with bat in hand so far, and Milantha now up into the 30s, which, as we mentioned, was the bellwether with Silicon Valley Strikers. They only lost 1 game when he got into the 30s, and that one in the Super 8s. This one lifted, and that looks like catching practice except for the stumble, but he still holds on. And just like that, the end of Lahiru Milantha caught off the bowling of the youngster Sabrish Prasad. And so the first introduction of spin does the trick. Get a look at this one, cramping Milantha a bit for style and then getting just enough turn to take the outer edge. And that one pops up on him. And goodness gracious, what concentration there to continue to follow that, even as his feet went out from under him. The catch taken on the last ball of the over by A.J. Sharma. And with that, first wicket down, Seattle 51 for 1 through 7. In at 3 for Seattle, Abhinav Sudarshanam. comes in after an absolute nightmare of an innings in his opener, able to just register 1 run off 18 balls. You could see the frustration before he finally looped one to Amir Hamza Hotak off the bowling of Abhimanyu Rajap yesterday. It was off spin that took his wicket. And it was off spin that just took the wicket of Lahiru Milanta. At the other end, AJ Sharma, lefty spin, into the attack for the first time today. And his first delivery shot into the covers for a single off the bat of the captain. So Abhinav will face his first delivery here. Last season, batted as an opener quite a bit, was faster and steadier in the power play, batting to a 118 strike rate overall, but that strike rate came down to 103 in the middle overs. He was out once every 16 balls in the middle. In the power play, out only every 45 deliveries. He'll be a little bummed to see Sonny Mataru out of the attack. He went after right arm pace at a 142 strike rate, 100 against everything else. Certainly a potential boundary hitter, although he has got an issue apparently with something here at the crease. I don't think we have any issues with the sight screen at the moment. May have handed something that he needed to get rid of to Snell Patel. That one pops up, a brief appeal from the man at mid-wicket. Thinking maybe. From our position, pretty evident that that did not take the edge of Sudashanam. Defended by Abhi. Sharma just bowled 1 over yesterday and gave up 12 runs. But he's been very good this last season against left-handed batters, just a 6.00 run-a-ball economy against lefties and a strike rate of 12.5. Didn't give up a single boundary in 25 balls against lefties last season. Abhi looking to put a dent in that right away here. That'll be picked up over at long on and just a single, but Sudarshanam off the mark quite a bit earlier today than he was yesterday. Last season, by the way, this Seattle Thunderbolts team 2-3 when chasing. Successfully got to 100 and 143 in today's total. Today's target, a little under that at 134. Failed to chase 163, 174, and 184. San Diego 1-1 last year when batting first. They almost exclusively chased last season. Chauhan guides that just wide of cover. That'll be a single as well. 3 off the first 5 here against AJ Sharma. Five wickets last season at an economy of 8.4. As we said, murder on lefties. That one pops up, a brief appeal for leg before. Looked like height would have been a concern, might also have gotten his glove. Either way, though, a dot to finish, just 3 off of AJ Sharma's first over. San Diego trying to reel this one back in, 54 for 1 through 8. Seattle 54 for 1 as Sabrish Prasad took a wicket on the last delivery of his first over, which went for 6 runs. Continues on from the Usman Khan end. That one gets pad, but going well down leg. Already had Shadley van Skalkovic on a hat trick twice this season, and Sabrish would have been if that had been a little bit closer to the stumps. Targeting the stumps that time, may have gotten pad. It caroms off something and ends up at the short third man, Javed Zadran. 2 dots to start the over here for Sabrish. If you are a worm watcher, you'd be interested to know right now that there's a throw back in toward the stumps. Heck of a play by Snell Patel to keep that in front of him. Goodness gracious. It's about to say, though, after those 3 dots, if you are a worm watcher, at 8.3, that was roughly the point that San Diego started really getting moving. Single there. Sudarshanam will take up strike now against the off-spinner. It was that 9th over, the insertion of Sujit Nayak, that had the 5 penalty runs and the 6, and the other 6, and the 4. Going into this over, Seattle were 10 ahead on the worm. They may well be behind by the end of this one. That one pops up again. The appeal coming from Skandar Rohit Sharma in the covers. Sterling over from Prasad. Last ball of it. That's going to be popped up in the air and fall just in no man's land. Sudarshanam will stay put. And it's going to be just a single run off over number 9. Sabrish Prasad spinning a web from the Usman Khan end. Seattle, as we said, started 10 runs ahead of the worm at the beginning of that over. They are now 12 runs behind it. 55 for 1 after 9. The order of the day at the moment, spin turning towards the creek. Lefty spinner Ajay Sharma stays on from this end, the off spinner from the other end, and the first ball from Ajay. After a 3-run first over, spins clear of the outside edge of Ian Dev Chauhan. Ian right now likely tasked with methodically stitching this innings together. And he won't get the opportunity as this time the edge is taken. And Snell Patel makes the catch. Chauhan gone on a run of ball 20. We mentioned yesterday, 20 was something you could just about count on him for last season. He had 7 scores in 8 matches above 20. But he only got to 30 twice and only to 40 once. And here it is, Ajay Sharma taking his first wicket of 2025, and it is the captain. And so just as commentators curse the idea of stitching the innings together, it'll have to be a pair of fresh batters out there now. Abhi Sudarshanam has faced 6 and has only managed the 1. We'll see who it is coming out to partner. Sudarshanam now in the absence of the captain. We will take the opportunity to check in as 8 overs are complete down in Morgan Hill. Silicon Valley Strikers 56 for no loss, absolutely in control of that run chase. nearly halfway to the total without a wicket down and with well over half the balls remaining. Silicon Valley with at least the third last ball victory over the Grizzlies in their history. A series that is currently 11-0 to the Silicon Valley Strikers. Their record against LA, just about as good, 6-2 all time. Although the Lashings were responsible for knocking them off at the beginning of the 2023 season, at a point when we thought we had ourselves a sleeper. It'll be Shashwat Kohli to join Abhinav Sudarshanam in the center, as we cast our eyes a little bit all around minor league cricket this afternoon. A few other games have gone final. New Jersey Stallions make it 2-0. Philadelphians fall to 0-2 with a victory by 12 runs. Meanwhile, Somerset Cavaliers just barely hold on a one-run victory over the NYC Titans, who, as we mentioned, just barely managed to hold on to victory yesterday. Today, they fall agonizingly short in the run chase. In fact, it came down to needing 2 off 1, and Syed Najaf Shah taking the wicket of Ryan Shun in at 8. On the very final ball, needing 1 to force a super over and 2 to win. So Somerset Cavaliers go to 2-0. NYC Titans now 1-1. Heck of a finish there over in the Eastern Division. All other games at some level of progress at the moment, and we'll give you a little more information as some of those go final over the course of a long day here in Davis. Game 1 of 2. Here in the run chase, and a wicket on the first ball. Shashwat Kohli is gone for a golden duck. They put a slip in place just to busy the mind of the number 15 in pink. He tries to unleash a shot and fires it right to a short cover. Good work there by A.J. Sharma to get that up in Kohli's eyes. And he fires that right into the hands of the man, and Sharma now on a hat trick. Shashwat gone first ball. A.J. Sharma, we mentioned yesterday, unable to strike in just the 6 balls he bowled, went at 2 runs a ball. Today, a very different story, just 3 off his first. And now goes dot, wicket, wicket, takes out the captain, takes out his successor, and will now bowl a hat-trick ball. Abhayender Singh, the one responsible for making that catch. Discussions abounding as the Surf Riders decide how to defend this hat-trick ball. Notably, it will be Sujit Nayak coming in now at 5 to face it. Certainly, if Sharma takes him, it will be an absolute dream over. Nayak, for his part, a 59 average last season. Not someone dismissed easily against much of anything. A 193 strike rate last season against lefty pace. Or excuse me, lefty spin, I meant to say. Because that's the more applicable thing right now. Hat trick ball for A.J. Sharma. Defended by Nayak. And for the fourth time, I believe, at least the third time in the last 25, 26 hours, we are denied a hat trick. And now Nayak is going to go golfing. And that one is over the tree that is past the boundary at long on. We told you he mashed last season against lefty spin. Well, here's a look at it. That one flighted and up in his eyes, but it's a half volley. Put it on a tee and then go chase it. We might need the box of balls at this point. Nope, it is indeed chased down. Despite being most likely parked on Shasta Drive out there, past the Sahadeo Pavilion. A little bit of a pick-me-up there, both the shot and the emotional effect from Sujit Nayak. This one a bit shorter. He'll guide that to the offside. Happy with the single and to retain strike. As we reach the halfway point of this run chase, Seattle 62 for 3, 72 needed off the last 10 overs. Elsewhere in minor league cricket, Orlando Galaxy are playing today against the Atlanta Fire in the South Division. Atlanta hanging 217 for 5 on the Floridians. It's going to be an uphill travel there. They are 13 for 1 early in their innings. Earlier today, Lone Star Athletics fell to the Chicago Kingsmen, who pick up their first win after falling on opening day. We already told you about the, actually, no, we didn't tell you about the Metroplex Tracers. They hung 204 for 3 on Chicago and win that game by 40 runs as well. All your other games, besides the one out west here and the ones we've already told you about, currently in their first innings. We continue to follow Silicon Valley, who are now 61 for 1 after losing Kamran Hotak. Shiva Mishra, if you want to see a milestone, has 2 off 2 right now. That makes him 2 runs away from becoming the 22nd member of the MILC 1,000-run club. And then come right on back here. You can even pause this one. YouTube's awesome. Shahan Fernando into the attack, coming at you from the Usman Khan end. Another dose of off spin. First ball was a single. Second one might be, but it looks like they're going to try and come back for a second. Abhi Singh fires it in to Fernando, but well wide of the stumps, and they get back for a pair. Perhaps seeing the joy they've gotten off of Sabrish Prasad and his off spin and the lefty spin as well of AJ Sharma, looking for a little bit more spin here with Fernando as that one is smacked onto the offside. In and to his right from, I'm sorry, the offside I meant to say. As it's lefties both at the crease. Abhinay Reddy in to claim that one and hold it to a single. Almost the same spot. Nayak and Abhinav content at the moment to rotate the strike, find a little bit of balance. After losing 3 wickets, somewhat rapid fire, Sabrish Prasad on the last ball of the 7th, and then AJ Sharma's back-to-back there in the 10th. Troublesome delivery there is the first dot of the over. Fernando, a part-timer in Sri Lanka. As that one's tapped to the offside. He comes back from the strike rotation with a pair of dots and holds Seattle to just 5 off of over number 11. exactly halfway to the target, 67 for 3, needing 67 off the last 9 overs. Change of ends coming up for Sabarish Prasad, who looks like he will take over at the Sahadeo Pavilion end now, after bowling his first 2 overs from the Usman Khan end. It'll be double barrel off spin against the left-handers. Worth noting that Sujit Nayak struck at a much lower strike rate against spin last season. If you ignore, well, not even if you ignore what he did against the lefties. He kicked the heck out of the lefties, but still overall 126 against spinners. The only issue is this has generally not been how to dismiss him. That one pops up, though. Promising little delivery. All that said, it was, in fact, Ahmed Hamza Hotak that took his wicket yesterday, the lefty spinner. That one popped up and will fall in front of a lot of green grass. It'll be a pair of runs. Good work making use of the field at the moment for Sujit Nayak, and you get a sense perhaps of what is planned bowling-wise. No one in the circle on the onside to Sujit. Deep protection at mid-wicket, long on, and backwards square. Nobody in the circle. Over on the offside, 2 deep men and 3 in close. That one airborne for the briefest of moments. It's going to be a foot race to the boundary, and they'll take just the single. Good work out in the deep by Sunny Mataru to keep that one inside the rope. Hoping to get Sudarshanam to put it in the air to the onside, if at all. Keeping that line wide is Sabarish Prasad. A dot delivery here. Sudarshanam a big swing and then immediately doubling back to avoid a stumping opportunity. That's right back at Prasad and put down. It'll be a single to finish the over, but that was an authentic opportunity there to dismiss Abhinav Sudarshanam. See if we've got a replay of that here. At least from what I was looking at, it seemed to carry a little bit of purchase. Ends up toe-ending it. Oh, goodness gracious. The return catch not taken by Sabarish Prasad. Those are always tough on your follow-through, but he gets 2 hands to it, and I think he'd tell you he should have hung on. We'll see if that costs San Diego. Seattle, 71 for 3, 63 needed off 8. Shehan Fernando continues from this end. As we said, double barrel off spin nearly bearing fruit on the final ball of the over. First delivery to Sudarshanam from Shehan Fernando. Worked to Abhi Singh at a wide long on. And a single to begin. Temperatures rising here in Davis, and I don't just mean the situation on the field. It's also now 94 degrees here. but definitely heating up between the wickets. Fernando digs that one in a little bit. Nayak shoots it again to the onside. This time Javed Zadran coming over from mid-wicket to claim it. Another single. Continuing with this strategy of just having the 3 deep men on the onside and a ton of catchers on the offside in close. That one shot through a gap. They do have a deep man at point. They'll limit that to a single as well. 3 off the first 3. This time around, drags it down on the legs. This one into a gap between the 2 deep men. And square leg and mid-wicket cannot converge. Too big of a gap, and it is found by Sujit Nayak for a 4. And that, for sure, a bit of a pressure release. First boundary since Sujit Nayak's 6 on the second delivery he faced. Since then, it had been 16 balls. That one, an error of line for sure by Shehan Fernando with the way they are playing this field. Can't give him something to plunk in that area. Now he inside outs it. This could be catching practice. Drifting back Prasad, and he couldn't take the return catch, but he's got that one. The end of Sujit Nayak, the part-timer Shehan Fernando, has taken his first wicket in minor league cricket. And it is now 78 for 4 as San Diego look to wrestle this one back. A look here, decent length, and just a bit of turn to the offside, just enough to get the soft contact that they needed here. So Prasad's taken a wicket with ball in hand. He's also now got a catch in the field. Been one of the themes of the week, that your wicket takers are also the ones making a lot of the catches. 78 for 4. 43 balls left to get 56. One ball left in the 13th over. It will be faced by the new man at the crease, Shadley van Skalkvik. And he will let that one go into the gloves of Snell Patel. Harmlessly. But a great over there from Shehan Fernando. Managed to keep it to singles for the most part. Strayed onto the pads once to give up the 4. And then got the right line, a little bit of turn to dismiss Sujit Nayak with 17 off 11. End of the 13th, Seattle 78 for 4. Over number 14 to be entrusted to Sabrish Prasad from the Sahadeo Pavilion end, but right now 16, the magic number. It's on the back of both batters for the Seattle Thunderbolts right now. Both lefty hitters wearing number 16. Abhinav Sudarshanam will be the one on strike for the first delivery of this over. And that is taken! What a snag by the slip Skandarohit Sharma! Brilliant ball, nearly a leg side wide, but it stayed on line just enough. Oh my goodness, the turn on that one, I believe it picked up glove. Claimed by the captain. Abhinav Sudarshanam, I think, contending that actually might have gotten him in the hip or in the box, but doesn't stick around long to argue it. And that's the end of the day for him. So Sudarshanam will depart with 7 off 16. Caught by the captain, and Sabrish Prasad has his second wicket of the day against 11 runs, as he will be bowled out from the Sahadeo Pavilion end in this over. In fact, he could be sitting on a 4-wicket haul right now and on a hat trick had he caught the one that came right back at him on the final ball of over number 12. No such luck, but 2 wickets falling in the last 3 balls overall here for the Seattle Thunderbolts, and it's going to be Matt Hennig in at 7. As I mentioned, the Seattleites told me they felt like 120 was a pretty decent score on this pitch. And San Diego managed 133. This starting to get more imposing by the moment. Hennig on one hop into the hands of the man that just caught Abhinav Sudarshanam at slip. That one pops up on the swing from Hennig. May have gotten some pad along the way. Didn't get a great look at that from our comms position. Thought about taking the run there as there was a bit of space, but A.B. Reddy Vanapalli screaming in from his position at a short third man. Worked to the onside. Snell Patel quickly out from behind the wicket, and Abhayender Singh rather, able to get to that. A wicket followed by 4 dots here out of the hand of the 17-year-old Sabrish Prasad. That'll be fired out to long off, so it won't be a wicket maiden to finish off his spell, but a fantastic spell it was nonetheless. He will finish off with figures of 2 for 12. And that 1 run over has Seattle at 79 for 5 through 14. They now need 9s to get home from here. It's going to be Kairav Sharma facing off with his old mates. As he enters the attack against the Seattle Thunderbolts here in over number 15. At least according to my records, a right arm leg spinner. Yeah, that looks like a leg spin sort of release. Got one heck of a run up, though, if that's the case. Kind of a little Wakar Salam Khail-ish. Either that or I need to fix my records. We'll find out. Oh, that's definitely leg spin. First delivery on the pads. The throw down to Kairov's end, and Hennig is in safely with a single. There's something very fun about briefly having doubts and then seeing that unmistakable, wild release of a leg spinner. For those that might be newer to the sport, if you want to release a ball without snapping your elbow, which is forbidden in cricket, and get that thing to land away from a right-handed batter and spin, or excuse me, land towards the legs of a right-handed batter and spin away from them, or in the case of a lefty like Shadley van Schalkwyk, spin into him, it takes a wild grip and release to make that happen. And sometimes it looks like that. I want a bit of top spin on it. Jumps up on Shadley and into the gloves of Snell. As I mentioned, kind of a thunderbolt last year in the Super 8s. Took 1 wicket for 25 runs in 3 overs. Dismissed Ray Ramratan, though, so a good one to get. Good diving snag on the inner circle by the captain. Skanda putting in work and showing out for his charges. Van Schalkwyk still looking to get off the mark as he prepares to face his 4th delivery. Pounded again wide of Skanda. They'll look to take the quick single. The throw is down to the bowler's end. Brief thoughts of trying to take the overthrow, but Hennig had his back turned, and Shadley quickly thinks better of it. Van Schalkwyk yesterday, 9 off 12, including a 4 before he was bowled by Zahid Zakhail. Matt Hennig at the other end, 10 off 19. He was caught in the deep in that penultimate over when Fernando took 2 big wickets. Good bit of turn there, but Hennig follows it. Pounds it to the vacant mid-wicket area and picks up another single. With that, the run rate required touching 10s for the first time here, with 31 balls left and 52 runs left to get. Shadow 1 off 4 on strike for the last ball of the 15th, last ball of the middle overs. That one's going to be a wide. It is the danger of the leg spin release, as it can be a tricky one to control. Every now and again you see what would otherwise appear to be borderline laughable looking wides, or I remember C.P. Rizwan last season, or 2 seasons ago rather, with East Bay Blazers, bowled at least one flighted ball that was flighted a good 15 feet in the air. This one a little more conventional, out to the man at long off, Abane Reddy. And that will be a single to finish it. So 5 off of the first kite of Sharma over. Start of the death overs, 84 for 5. Seattle needing 50 off the final 5 overs. It appears we're going to see Abane Reddy bowling his first over of the encounter from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. The only thing I will say about that is that with Shadley van Schalkwyk on strike, that somewhat concerns me, as we're going to see Matt Hennig, it looks like, either get some water or some new gloves. Now it looks like it's water. Shadley van Schalkwyk, though, in 2023, last time he played in minor league, a 161 strike rate against right-arm pace compared to his 128 overall. And on top of that, 188 at the death last season, or that season, rather, compared to 84 in the middle. So this is where he shines, and this is what he has shined against. Slight concern etched on my face for the men in tropical yellow and light blue. But we'll see where this goes. First ball from Reddy. That is a full toss dispatched by Shadley van Schalkwyk right over the Turing sign at a very, very narrow long on. First ball of Reddy's spell goes for 4 straight back over his head. As we were saying at the start of today's game, 4 of the last 5 meetings between these teams have gone right down to the wire. Been in doubt, if not on the final ball, then with maybe 2 or 3 balls remaining. Better length that time, an off-pace Yorker from Reddy. That time around, Shadley can't get under it. It will take some doing for Seattle to turn this into one of those insane finishes that we've seen in the past. Excellent stuff there as Abene Reddy draws his line out a little wider. Sneaks that under the bat of van Schalkwyk. Between 2022 and 23, 3 consecutive Seattle-San Diego games with Seattle chasing that went down to the final ball. They lost their last wicket, trailing by 6. They got 2 when they needed 4 off the final ball. And they got 2 when they needed 2, thanks to a San Diego misfield. Could this one come down to the wire as well? The comeback from Reddy has been phenomenal after Shadley's first ball 4. A single off that one. Good fielding by Shehan Fernando, but possibly with a price. Comes up a little limpy and, in fact, reaching for his left hamstring, trying to stretch that out. Changes in the field here with Matt Hennig coming on strike. AJ Sharma pushed to a rather wide third man at the rope. Sukhwan Sekon now at mid-wicket. Long on is on the hill, long off is deep, and so is sweeper cover coming a bit off. A correction, mid-wicket. I'm sorry, I've been doing this all with lefties. Backward point. It's not going to matter because he just hit it where no one was. That one is racing away to the boundary. Been talking about Shadley van Schalkwyk so darn much that I completely lost sight of it being a right-hander out there. But they do have continued in the deep, long off, long on, mid-wicket, sweeper cover, and backward point. Bit of a drift in line, and Hennig doing well to hoik that just backward of square leg. Know where your gaps are. 9 off the over so far. They need 10s from this point. See what Hennig has for the final ball of the 16th. That one down leg again, and this time around they have moved square leg a bit squarer, and he's able to retrieve it. It's a single. They get exactly what they need off over number 16. 10 from it, 10 still required. 40 from the target, 94 for 5. $40 required off 24 here. Down in Morgan Hill, Silicon Valley Strikers have just brought up the 100 and will look to celebrate Saurabh Netravalkar's amazing figures and Shivam Mishra's entry into the 1,000-run club with a victory that is now 22 runs away with more than 6 overs remaining. Here, very much more in the balance. 40 required off 24. Kailav Sharma back in. First delivery, right back at him. What a grab! Kailav Sharma! The alertness of his own bowling takes his first wicket of 2025. Gets it off his former mates, but it's the new man, Matt Hennig, who is dismissed on 8 from 10. Apologies to everybody I just squeaked into the ears of, but that was phenomenal. Good length, a good bit of work by Hennig to fire it back where it came from. By and large, that's a winning strategy in most bat and ball sports, but Sharma alert to it, gets his hands there, walks away like there's an explosion going on behind him. Cool as you like. Needs some sunglasses if you're going to pull off that look, though. That sort of nonchalance. But with that, it's 6 wickets down for the Seattle Thunderbolts. I'll tell you, the cotton bowls in this this weekend so far have been phenomenal. Elmore Hutchinson took an absolute blinder yesterday, one-handed, sticking it back out to his left to dismiss Ian Dev Chauhan. And Shadley van Skalkvik's cotton bowled was no small feat either yesterday. It's been a real festival of cricket so far this weekend, and we've still got 2.5 days left of it, along with the last 23 balls of this one. New batters, Rishabh Mohan. Lets that one go, and it is wide of the tram line. Mohan, 55 career runs here in MILC. Just one of those yesterday in his 2025 debut. Ends up on the ground there trying to follow yet another massively flighted ball out of the hands of Kailav Sharma. Sharma gets some serious air on that thing. Get it over the head of Rishabh Mohan is no mean feat. Little flatter this time. Mohan shoots that to the man at mid-off and is quickly out of his crouch to take the single. Rishabh was the other man besides Matt Hennig that lost his wicket in that second-to-last over yesterday against Gayan Fernando, both of those caught by Amir Hamza Hotak. He stands now at the non-striker's end. Pair of lefties at the crease. Shadley van Skalkvik looking to kick this into gear. That one stays inside the tram lines. No! Wow, a very late signal given on the wide. I don't know if he set it and took his time on that one, but I thought all was kosher there for a solid 3 seconds. That one drifting down leg, and it's fired straight to the man and mid-wicket. Javed Zadran. Single off that one. Opening partnership today for Seattle went for 51. They have since lost 6 wickets for 47. Stepping across and making some space for himself is Rishabh Mohan. Fires that one to A.B. Reddy. But no problems out there for him, just another single. 1 ball left in the over as Seattle looked to bring up the 100. But the clamps applied. They needed 10s at the beginning of the over. They now need 11s. Again, drifting down leg, this time a better length. And Abhi Singh will step up to grab it. And a no ball That will not be the last front foot no ball from Kairav Sharma. So it'll be Rishabh Mohan to face it. No ball plus the single. And Mohan's going to fire that one in our direction, and that's going to have a little too much gas for the Abhis out here at long on and long off to converge to it. It's against the sight screen. It is a 4 off the free hit. The 100 is now up for the Seattle Thunderbolts, and they absolutely get what they needed out of that over. It took a while. Courtesy of a few extras, they do finally get themselves the 10 runs. They now need 30 off the final 3 overs here in Davis, California. We'll be right back. A correction with the extra run from the no ball that has now gone on the scorecard. 29 required off the final 3 overs. And just a little bit of errant stepping and bowling, leading to a few extras and, in particular, that free hit. Looked for a moment like they were going to have Seattle under that much more of an 8-ball. But they are still going at the 10s required, and in fact took 11 off of over number 17. 29 off 18 now needed. And this one threatening to come right down to the wire like so many Seattle-San Diego games in the recent past. Geographically, 2 of the farthest apart teams you have in minor league cricket, and certainly here in the Western Division. Play-wise, very, very close. First delivery handled by Shadley van Skalkvik out of the hands of Shehan Fernando. Now bowling from the Sahadeo Pavilion end. It's a single, rolled out to long on. Rishabh Mohan out there, deep protection all in front of him, but this one's going to stay on the inner circle. Quickly off their marks, though, are Rishabh and Shado. Three deep men on the onside. Only man in the circle on the onside is Fine Leg. Full toss from Shehan Fernando. That one heading towards the embankment and into the trees. Shadley van Skalkvik knows what to do with that. 8 runs off the first 3 balls of this over. And just like that, the worm turning. Bordering on a baseball swing there against the full toss. Fernando looking for the comeback, and he does get it. That one worked to point. Stays in the circle, but again, the quickness with which Mohan and van Skalkvik are off. That single never in doubt. Down to 20 required. Flattened out by Fernando, pops up on Mohan, and just nothing he could do with that. Such a change of pace. Final ball of the over, right at the feet of Rishabh Mohan. And the Thunderbolts pick up the 10 off of over number 18. They now need 19 off the final 2. Continue to get done what needs to be done and bring us potentially to a crescendo finish. 115 for 6 through 18. partnership between Van Skalkvik and Rishabh Mohan up to 21 off 11, getting done what they need to. It is the third highest partnership of the innings so far for the Seattle Thunderbolts. The 51 put on by the openers, and then 23 for the fourth wicket. That by Sujit Nayak and Abhinav Sudarshanam. It's going to be Abhinav Singh bowling his first over here at the death. Last of the overs from the Usman Khan end begins with a dot. Abhi Singh, a 37-year-old righty leg spinner. A pair of dots to start here against Rishabh Mohan. Rishabh just looking maybe to get off strike at this point. And Singh just keeps humming it up there. And is working very, very fast, trying to put pressure on the young lefty swinger. Steps forward, hits that one at his feet, but doesn't get enough of it. And 4 consecutive dots to start the penultimate over. And all of a sudden, that job is getting a lot harder. Shadley out to talk to his protege at the other end. Abhi Singh, 7 wickets at 11 per last season. 6 of them coming at the death, where he had a 5.7 strike rate. Speaking of striking, this one fired here, but long run and well taken by Sabrish Prasad. It's going to be Rishabh Mohan back on strike as they take the pair. But nicely struck there. Singh absolutely lethal at the death last season, but was victimized by a lot of shots to the boundary. 21% of all his deliveries and 30% of them off of righties. Luckily for him, a pair of lefties here a little less likely to take him yard. Flattens that out. Mohan in the air. Long run in. Won't get to it. They will take the single. But Abhinav Singh, just 2 runs. Correction. I thought they just took a single on that one based on where Rishabh Mohan is. We'll see if that's corrected on the scorecard in a moment. Either way, an incredibly economical penultimate over here for Abhinav Singh. And with that, 6 balls remaining, either 15 or 16 required. We'll see if that scorecard updates in just a moment. I have to imagine they are eventually going to figure this out, but it shows 119 for 6 on the screen. I'm nearly positive that that was a single because Rishabh Mohan is on strike again, and he was the one who struck that ball. There we go. Now it's fixed. 118 for 6. 6 balls to go, 16 needed from it. And it's going to be Abhinay Reddy who takes the ball here. Last season, Rishabh Mohan did not enjoy facing righty pace. 7 off 13 and 2 dismissals. The order of the day here has got to be getting Shadley Van Skalkvik on strike to do what he does. First delivery of the final over. And again, unable to quite make contact. 16 needed off 5. See the width on offer. Just not able to bring the bat down on it. It's one of the faster deliveries I think we've seen from Abhinay today. He is a medium pacer, but sometimes takes even a bit off of that. A gun fielder for sure. 5 wickets, though, last year at 20 per. Up steps Rishabh. That one toward the sight screen. They'll take the single. And that'll get Shadley on strike. Just 1 from the first 2 balls. They need 15 off of 4. You're looking at 4 4s, maybe 2 6s and a 4. This one almost has to get to the rope. Van Skalkvik looking out, ready, steaming in. That one's on the ground. Kept in the circle. They take one. Mohan has hit the deck. They're going to try to come back for the second, and Rishabh is going to sacrifice his wicket to get Van Skalkvik back on strike. Stumble at the other end, but you had to do what you had to do. Oh, correction. He got home. My mistake. I thought for sure they had run him out at that other end, but apparently not. 2 runs. My apologies, neglected to look for the signal. Just thought I saw what I saw. So 2 off that, 13 now required. Off 3, and it's a wide. Van Skalkvik not able to get to it. They were ready to celebrate. We'll see there. That is a very tight moment, but it does look like Mohan may have gotten his bat down. I think I misunderstood AB's spike of the ball as celebration. It appears now that I look at it, it was frustration. After the wide, 12 needed off 3. Did he take an edge? Reddy responded. But he did not. It is a dot ball. And now it's 12 required off 2. These next 2 have to go over the rope. Otherwise, 2 legal deliveries that don't end up in the berm, and it would be San Diego's game. Here comes the first of those balls. Shadley has to go yard. And that may well be 1 from 1. My goodness, into the trees, and he sets up the big finish. 6 off that. Seattle 128 for 6. They trail by 5. I told you, these games go down to the wire. This is about to be the 4th final ball finish in the last 6 meetings between these two clubs. Shadley was on strike for the one at Canyon's side back in 23. He needed a 4 in that one to win it. They only got 2, and they lost by a run. This is a legal delivery. Anything other than a 6, and it's San Diego's game. Let's see what we got. And it's a wide. And now the dreaded specter of super over comes in. Now a 6 wins it. A 4 gives us bonus cricket. Anything that stays inside the rope is a San Diego win. I had this sense that Arroyo insanity combined with this rivalry was going to yield some good cricket. Who knows what Game 2 is going to look like, but Game 1 has lived up to it. Final ball. Lifted. There's a fielder under it. He takes it, and San Diego hold on for dear life. and win by 4 runs in Game 1 of our doubleheader. Van Schalkwyk got under it but didn't get enough as he ladled that one to cow corner. An absolute back and forth final 2 overs. Just good work by Abhinay Reddy to cramp Shadley enough for style and space to keep him from elevating that. If he'd missed the fielder, decent chance of that super over. But instead, it's the end of the line and a 4-run victory for the San Diego Surf Riders. I am going to take a quick look here at a stat because I think this may well be the case. That is indeed the first victory for a Southern California side ever here in the Bay Area or elsewhere in NorCal. Up to this point, San Diego were 0-12, make it 0-13 after yesterday's loss in Morgan Hill. LA Lashings will be, well, actually, my mistake. What am I saying? They did it yesterday. Both teams have now taken care of it. They've both done it against the Seattle Thunderbolts. I needed to update my notes. Lashings are now 1-8. How dare I steal their thunder? Speaking of thunder, a look here at the batting card. 34 from Lahiru Milanta. He and Ian Dev Chauhan partnered for 51 runs in that opening partnership. It looked like they were on cruise control at the end of the power play, just needing a further 82 from that point to get themselves over the line. But it would become tough sledding from that point. After Milanta went, Ian Dev Chauhan did 4 runs later, and that happening after a further 14 balls. They would lose Shashwat Kohli immediately after that. They lost Sujit Nayak and Abhinav Sudarshanam in the span of 3 deliveries. And it ended up coming down to Shadley Van Schalkwyk and Rishabh Mohan. And that 19th over looked like they were in a lot of trouble. The 20th, for brief moments, looked like they might well get it done. But the bowlers hold tight. Let's take a look at the work by the San Diego Surf Riders attack here. Needing to defend 6.5, they managed to keep Seattle at 6.45. And they use a little bit of just about everybody. I'm not sure I've ever seen a bowling card like that. All but 2 members of the team end up bowling. The only ones that don't, the wicketkeeper Snell Patel and the captain Skandar Rohit Sharma. Everybody else gets tapped at some point or another. Abhinay Reddy had to make a couple of decent deliveries under pressure at the end. He traveled a bit, 1 for 21, but he gets the wicket on that final ball to end the encounter. Otherwise, a lovely bowling card for them. 2 wickets each from Ajay Sharma and Sabrish Prasad. That spectacular caught and bowled from Kaidav Sharma as well. And all that combined with Abhinay Reddy's 39 in the first innings and that cameo from Sunny Mataru, the 26 off 15. We said at the time, how much might that cameo in particular matter? Well, it gets San Diego to 130. And that turns out to be just enough to survive today and claim win number 1 on the season. They go to 1-1. Seattle Thunderbolts now 0-2. And in about a half hour's time, we're going to see if those Thunderbolts can come right back and punch the San Diego Surf Riders in the mouth and get their first win. Or if San Diego is going to pull out a sweep here and continue that improving, lovely trajectory they've been on for the last handful of seasons. They went 4-4 last year. They're now back at 500 this season. And they've shown us a bit of what they can do both in the field and with ball in hand. As we said, we'll be back on a different YouTube link, but still here on the MLC network in roughly 30 minutes' time for Game 2 of our doubleheader. We hope you'll join us then. But if that's all we're going to see of you today, we appreciate you joining us now. Again, for Stanley on the camera work and Vishal Tiku in the director's chair, my name is Joe Hickey, and I hope to see you again real soon. So long.